Well, there goes the No, I can't do the ululation without this going. This makes my voice shake. Good morning, everybody.
That was beautiful.
I need the ululation. I do.
That was beautiful.
And I'll see you later.
I cried a little bit. I cried. I wept.
Joyce actually wept. Joyce being my wife, me being me, Dave Lefkowitz here for the 868th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio of the stream here live on Saturday morning. It is October 15th, 2022. And it was funny when the last episode we did, we skipped last Saturday because I had done our anniversary program on Thursday night before, not this past Thursday night, but a week and a half ago, because I wanted to go on the air the very first, or at the exact minute, at the moment, 20 years to the minute that I went on the air for the first time doing Dave's Gone By, back originally on radio, Long Island Radio, WGBB. I did an hour audio only, and now here it was 20 years later Thursday, October 26th, excuse me, oh, I'm so gone, October 6th, 2022, and I made sure, I was like, okay, I normally do the show Saturdays from 9 until noonish or thereabouts, and I said, no, it doesn't matter how busy I am, how crazy things are, I'm getting on the air 20 years to the second, so I can go, it was 20 years ago today. Dave Lefkowitz started his radio journey. I know. But, so I did, right? And had a great time, and I'm going to thank the folks who came in and became part of that episode, including, of course, Vicky and Leslie, and musician Eddie Hugg, who was in the radio studio I was in the day that I started all those years ago. And it was my old friend that was Untitled Chapter, he took part also and got some great well wishes. But the first posting, and I think this was from Stan, but remember Stan?
Oh, yes.
But
he took out Pam as your number one fan.
Yeah, kind of did. And now we've got Mary. Yeah, Mary.
And you put your picture on like weird stuff.
Yeah. But here's I think it was Stan. Could have been one of the others who said, looked at within like the first minute or two or three that I was doing the broadcast, and typed on the Facebook thing, not congratulations, not Mazel Tov, not 20 years. Here's to 20 more years. No, he just one question: are you high? Are you high right now? I'm like, he said that because I probably looked. It was 11 o'clock at night. I've been teaching
You like Billy Joel
in Maryland, and I'm like, I haven't even told the whole story of that.
He wrote that?
Huh?
He wrote that?
He wrote somebody. I think it was Stan who wrote, "Are you high right now?" I'm like, no. Of all the people you would ever ask that to, which is kind of ironic or whatever, people must have thought the way my brain works that I'm on or have been on any number of psychotropic hallucinogens and drugs.
Or mushrooms.
Or mushroom. Well, Joyce loves mushrooms. I can, unless they're canned and sautéed.
No, but they're thinking like psychotropic.
I know, yeah. I know exactly. They're the toadstool licking kind of.
David, there's a thing that I read in my New York Times blurb I get every day.
Yeah.
It said that there's a service now where you can watch comedians perform, but you could pick the joke. Like, it's like an interactive. I guess it's a series of, I don't know if it's live or they have pre-recorded jokes that you pick a series of, yeah.
Oh, no, I thought it was going to be something else. I thought it was this thing of you select like an old joke.
Oh,
and like 5 different comedians get to tell it, and whoever tells it the best. That'd be a great series. I just gave somebody like a $10 million idea. Like, who tells the old joke best? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be fantastic? And with Gilbert gone, it wouldn't be an obvious thing every time. Everyone would do it a little bit differently.
That's true. You like Gilbert a lot.
Well, but anyway, what I was saying was that the guy wrote in, or the woman wrote in, are you high right now? And the irony is that I've never actually been intentionally high. I've never been drunk, and I've never tried even pot. Pot is probably on my bucket list at this point. Nothing, I mean, I would literally have to be cancer-ridden on death's doorstep to say, I'll try a button of LSD, a half a button. No, I don't want to kill any more of my brain cells. Let me have a half button of LSD, and I'll see what I dream about. Will probably be naked women, but still, let me see what they do. And my luck, they turn purple and have 3 tits, so it would not be a good thing. But I understood where it was coming from because I looked at my face when I was going back and doing the archives and putting our anniversary show on davesgoneby.com, on archive.org, and I saw myself. I was like bleary, and my eyes were sort of half open, which is basically how half of my students look when I see them at university. And I was, oh, no wonder he thought. No wonder he assumed or figured or is guessing. You high. I was like, no, I'm just exhausted. I am literally just at the end of my tether and only halfway through the semester. So let me catch you all up, ladies and gentlemen. Now that you're tuning in here. What? That's me on your phone. I'm here. I'm live. I'm live on Facebook. Yay. So, as you all probably know, if you've been watching the show week to week or year to year.
How do I mute it?
I don't know how you move. Just turn your... Or stop the feed or something. There you go. Oh, no, I'm still talking. I talk a lot.
I lowered you, honey.
Joyce just found the Facebook thing on her phone. So, what was I about to say? You know that in late July, we made a move. We bought a house out in Maryland and moved there in early August. It was time. Joyce wanted a new job, got one, yay, teaching at a university up there and in an associate professorship position. And of course, me being me, the trailing spouse, I'm like, I gotta quit this job that I really like and go find another one. So, casting about and got to teach as an adjunct again, which is, kind of creative, as Joyce would say, generative, because you're trying to help and guide young people and teach them certain things that will help them along in their writing, which means in their life, right? But it's also, adjuncts get paid garbage no matter where in America you teach. And it's a ton of work for very little credit. So, so I start, man, and I came in from that, from not knowing if I'd have a job the second week of August to, I have to teach in a week and a half. Fine, I can grab my old syllabi.
Why are you taking your grandchildren to the Lake Henderson camp for the first time?
How am I on that? Did somebody include me on a...
No, that's another David Lefkowitz.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's somebody else named like me? I will have to have them terminated. Anyway, so I have to now teach again.
Whoa.
And it would be what? That was that was the photo I posted from the anniversary show that was taken 20 years ago. I think the week before I started. Joyce is pointing to the picture of me with my arms crossed with that blue t-shirt on. That was taken 20 years ago outside the building, and the sign says radiology, but there's actually radio station was in that building. Anyway, I've got to teach these courses, right? And it would have been relatively simple to just take my old classes and just put new dates on them and use my old lesson plans and just add some more PowerPoints and things. Except, of course, it never works out that way for me, because back when I taught my English classes in Colorado, I was teaching it twice a week, 2 75-minute sections. Now I had to take that and somehow, because when you're a newbie, they screw you. So I have them 3 days a week for 50 minutes per class, right? So now I've got to go back through all my lesson plans, all my stuff, and how do I? Now I've got the material. I just have to chop it up in different ways, week by week. And also, I almost never used PowerPoints back in the day. Even though everybody else was, I rejected them. I abjured them. I'm not going to. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like either a blackboard or a whiteboard I can write on, and the physical act of writing makes them watch me.
Dave is called Dolphin Dave.
So, but now it's, if I didn't have Blackboard, I'm sorry, if I didn't have PowerPoints now, I literally would just collapse in front of them. So now I'm
when did you meet Cookie Monster?
Last night.
Oh.
If I didn't have this tool that I avoided for all those years, right? If I didn't, it's really, really helpful. And this is what kids are used to also. If they don't physically see it in front of them on a slide, and a slide that they can actually go back to and look at all week long, because I keep my PowerPoints on their interface. So even if they miss class or if they don't remember what was in class, they can go look at the slides again. So, and Joyce taught me that. So,
somebody just posted your interview with the monkeys from 2007.
Wow.
Torquay's discussion. I guess they're the monkeys.
Yeah, well, I interviewed only Peter Talk. Twice he was on the show.
Hi, everyone. Our wonderful Torquay Gailey relayed information on archive.org aside from monkeys and stuff. And look at what I found. I got really into this radio interview with Peter and wanted to share it with everyone. Check it out, and thank you, Gail. And it's September 15th.
Yeah.
And it's your show.
Wow. Who shared? Thank you very much. I'm wondering who shared.
It's in a monkeys support.
It's in a chat group. Oh my god! I hope they find.
It's in a group for monkey fans.
Monkey fan. Wow! I hope she found. Like I interviewed Peter Tork twice. He was on the show. He was on the show twice.
I'll send you that. You can tell her.
And it becomes. I was talking about this on my.
I'll find a way to send.
Thank you. Our anniversary show. That when it becomes even more important to me to have the archives when people die, and when Peter Tork died, I'm like, okay, we have probably an hour's worth of conversation with the late Peter Tork of the Monkees, one of the most popular bands of the 1960s. So very proud of that. But my whole thing was, so, I have all this work to do to get my...
I just sent it to you.
Thank you. All my classes into shape. And, I'm teaching these 3 classes. And then, with a week left before school is starting, I get, I'm trying to make contact with the chairman of the English department at Joyce's University, right? And he contacts me and he said, we didn't think, at first I thought we would have a lot of stuff open. And then we had nothing open. But all sorts of craziness happens a week or 2 before classes begin. And so, and it always happens. You figure everything, all the ducks are in a row. All the tenured professors are teaching this, all the associate professors are this, we have all our adjuncts, and then 1 or 2 weeks before classes start, like clockwork, things fall apart and things open up. And then they threw me another class to teach, same subject, it's English Comp, but do I get to kind of do it 3 days a week and just use my same lesson plans? Oh no. Now I tried doing this, ladies and gentlemen. Try teaching an English composition class once a week in front of students for 2 hours and 40 minutes at a clip. Try getting through that with your mind not turning to, and their minds, which are already mush, not turning into sort of a weaker suet. Right? And, but of course, I need the money, and we're in this new place, and I want to get good with the university. So I'm like, okay, sure, fine. And now I have to take so this is the wonderful mathematics of this. I've got to take my old lesson plans, which were 2 days a week longer, chop them into 3 days a week shorter. Now I've got to take the 3 days a week and figure out how to smash them into once a week. And I'm doing this. And I'm managing it. And I've got, sometimes 100 papers to grade over the course of a weekend. And it's English. And they can't write English. So every single essay, I can't just sort of read it over with the rubric and go, okay, good point, nice to read, thank you so much, enjoy your life. No, it's got to be, you're missing a comma here. Oh, you're not using proper modern library format. And by the way, library shirt. You're not doing that. Please go to some sort of mountain, study with a Pasha, and have him teach you how to use a semicolon. All of this, again and again and again, they come at you. Fine. I am managing this. I am doing all right. I've got just enough time and energy to teach one class 3 times a week, another class for a long time, once a week, and shop for the house and make the phone calls and go through all the stuff that you have to do when you buy a house and a car and all of this, and enjoy life a little bit in kind of the best weather of northern Maryland. This beautiful house that I've shown you with a nice backyard and these rooms, and it's lovely, right? So, and sleep. You know, try and do this without losing good, decent night's sleep, which I'm managing fantastically. And then I get a call 2 weeks ago. And I'm obviously I'm grateful for. I'm bitching, but I'm grateful. I get a call from the university chair, and he says, "Well, guess what?" No, it wasn't even from him. He had the chair of another department contact me, the foreign languages department, and she was like, "Well, you'll never guess what happened." There's this other course. It's also a 100. It's a low-level course, which means you get the creme de la crap of students. Like just anybody that they picked off the street and say, "Hey, you want to go to college? Do your parents have a few $1,000s? You don't really belong in college, but there you go." So I get a call saying, "Hey, you were kind of recommended for whatever reason that this person has been teaching a class about literature." So it's a literature and writing class for people who don't understand literature and can't write. Yeah. And there's a woman who's been teaching it. Not surprisingly, she had a heart attack. She also teaches the foreign language. But I'm understanding now why this woman had open heart surgery emergency. Like, one day she's not feeling so well. Next day, she's on the table, ribs open, the whole David Letterman thing. And they're like, we had, when this happened, we had an adjunct lined up to take the class, right, to teach it instead. I got the syllabus, I got the stuff, but we hired the adjunct a few days ago, and then she just contacted us to say, no, rather than come in, take over a class midstream that nobody knows what it is, and also have to teach, this because it's 2 sections of a class, and I have to deal with that and teach them great papers and make almost, horrible money, and move into Las Vegas. And of course, the woman from this department is wondering aloud, really, she did not know that she was packing up and moving to Vegas the moment she told us, yeah, I'll take the class. Yeah, I think I'll take that. She had no idea that, she had a crap tables job and a lovely, $230,000 house lined up somewhere along the Vegas Strip. It was like, but anyway, they were basically, I was an emergency warm body to them. It's kind of like they had someone, they lost someone, they had someone else, they lost someone else, and like they went all the way down the list and say, oh, new guy, he's breathing, he seems to have published a little and can talk to English good. Let's hire him if he'll take it. Please take it, please. And we're very grateful. They're extremely grateful that I'm taking on these classes there, and I was grateful to be hired. But the upshot of it is that 2 weeks ago, I took on 2 more classes, same course, 2 sections of it, with 20 more students apiece, and more papers to grade, and a syllabus that, I got up until that point, but no lesson plans. No, I come in and they hand me like a bag of books, and they say, well, this is what we were going to be picking readings in the course from. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And no lesson, nothing mapped out, none of the assignments, not the final, not the presentations, nothing. Thank you very much. And we're more than a third of the way through the semester when I get this. So if the upshot of all this is, if I looked high on Thursday, October 6th, when I was doing the 20th anniversary episode of Dave's Gone By, I was not high. I was, if anything, I was low. I was like, I'm dying here. I'm like overwhelmed. I come home, I grade. I'm not, or I don't have time to grade because I'm too busy making PowerPoints. But I can't make the PowerPoints until I do the lesson plans because I can't do the lesson plans until I look through my old notes. Or for this new class, I can't do the lesson plans until I start reading all these fucking short stories. I have to read Camus' The Plague. I literally, but sometime between now and 2 weeks, I have to read Albert Camus' The Plague. I had to read, like, at least a little part of Geoffrey Chaucer's A Journal of the Plague Year. Oh, isn't that fun? Because, and I can tell you, I mean, if you want to find out where the fuck I'm teaching, it's easy enough to do. But I'm not going to tell you. But I have to teach a course about pandemic, plague, lockdown literature. And when I get this course, my first thought is, okay, so, and it's English. It's a basic 100 level, as I mentioned, English class, right? And the only thing that occurs through my mind is that they do a lot of these different ones. They try and be very cool with these, generally, to get students interested. So there's actually one, I don't know if it's an adjunct or probably a real professor, who is teaching one about Nina Simone, like her life and music. Whole class, I mean, you've got, again, it's in English, so they've got to write papers, they've got to read about her, probably read biographies of her, as I did actually years ago, just for me. So, well, oh, that's kind of interesting. And you know you're going to get a certain segment of this university's student body that is going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to read that, you know? And other things about race and justice and equity, and I'm like, but who chooses, after 2 years, and remember, these kids were in high school, or out of high school, trying to do high school from a room, right? Why would anybody choose to do an entire, and not just a section, not just a week or two of readings, but an entire 16-week course on literature about death, dying, the plague, and the pandemic and lockdowns? Wouldn't that be the kind of thing that nobody wants to read right now, or a year ago, when this thing was planned out? Wouldn't that be the one subject that you would sort of say, we've all been living this. I think we all emotionally understand it. We don't need Daniel Defoe, Boccaccio, and Albert Camus to tell us how to get through what we've just been living through. We've just been living through it, right? And I'm like, why would anybody want to choose this? Why? And so, and this is the best part of the story, I think. I go on the first day of each of my sections of this literature class, this literature, lit and writing class. And I try and be, I'm a pretty open professor. I mean, I'm very anal. I'm very anal retentive as a professor, and incredibly controlling. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I always tell you the truth, and I never BS you, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm asking, hey, I'm just kind of curious. Okay, well, you had options to choose this kind of course, which is, they have to take, it's mandatory to take a course like this. So they could have taken the Nina Simone, they could have taken one about comedy, they could have taken one about all these different topics that followed the same deliverables, I hate that word, deliverables in terms of what they had to produce at the end of class to get a grade, right? So I asked them in one class, okay, you have these choices, and yet here you are, 21 people, and you chose to take this class where we're specifically dealing with plague, lockdown, pandemic literature for 4 months. Why? Why did you choose this? I wanted something to bank on. I wanted something to pivot to. As you're interested, aha, and talk about that and go forward with it. And I'm looking at blank faces and stares and like, I thought the professor was going to talk the whole time and leave us alone. But I'm like, come on. So who here? And somebody finally raised a hand and said, well, there really wasn't a choice. They gave us this. I said, yeah, I know. They gave you have to take a course like this, but why this specific subject? And it was like, no, it's the only one that fit in my schedule. And then I dared, stupidly, I asked the class, okay, so who's here in this particular section taking this particular course only because they have to be, and not remotely by choice. If I tell you twice, every single student raised, I think maybe one kid was sort of as a kind of interested. Nobody else was interested. Nobody else wanted to be there. Nobody else cared about this topic. And now, here's old Dave. I'm like, well, for the next 8-9 weeks, guess what we're going to be doing? Because I can't suddenly change horses, and I can't suddenly go, oh, we're going to go into stand-up comedy over the past 30 years. We're going to write articles about people's routine. I can't do that. I probably could have. At this point, they were so glad to have a human being standing up there, taking over for 75 minutes twice a week. They probably said, oh, yeah, go ahead, change it. Who cares? Just get some essays out of them and grade them. And I probably could have or should have done them, except then I would have had to do everything from scratch. So now I'm teaching literally 6 college courses, 2 different preps, 5 days a week. So if I look high, and I look at my eyes, I look at my face like,
No, I think we both got Billy Joel syndrome. We both.
Oh, my dad looked, when Billy Joel got old, like old man Jewish looking, he looked like my dad, right? And Billy Joel what Billy Joel looks like now, he looks a lot like my father. And I, of course, have some of my father's features, and my mother's and her family's eye bags. So I got. Yeah.
Oh my
I got the Lhasa Apso. No, because they turn black, and they got the, I'm never getting, I'm not.
Are we getting a Lhasa Apso?
Nah, I can't. Yeah. You want a Lhasa Apso here? I remember, I think, they used to show this on TV, like Lucille Ball once did it. Literally, it was like a clip from the Lucy show. And she was like, did I ever show you what a Lhasa Apso looks like? And she was like, I don't know how she did it, but it was great. It's like, she did the eyes, and she it was so unexpected coming from her. It was brilliant.
What was the relevance?
I have no idea. It was a commercial. It was a clip part of a commercial. Did I ever tell you? Or some other dog.
Was it like a Betty White and a pet charity?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Oh, it was hysterical. We're going back 40 years. I used to see this on television. And it was the one time that the Lucy show, which was really enjoyable, made me laugh out loud. So one time I could watch I Love Lucy and say, oh my God, that's hysterical. Did anybody remember that? Anyway.
You sure it wasn't Carol Burnett?
Nope. It was Lucy.
Interesting.
Oh, Pekingese.
Yeah.
Google this. I'll bet you know what? When you go on your phone again, Google Lucille Ball Pekingese, and I will show it to the people and tell them that I'm not kidding.
Lucille Ball video as a Pekingese pet.
I remember Ethel.
Lucille Ball show, Pekingese. Mr. Mom.
Really? It's not there? Oh, this is going to make me mad. I'm going to Google. I'm going to find this. Maybe. Maybe not.
It's all her with Pekingese. She must have had Pekingese dogs.
I Love Lucy Pekingese impression. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Just look up Lucille Ball Pekingese. I have the image of it that I can share. I don't know if I can share it.
Here.
Can you find it?
Here. It looks like that Twilight Zone episode, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The faces. So just so you know, I wasn't kidding with you. Here's. Did I ever show you my impersonation of a Pekingese? And Ethel goes, Pekingese? I was like, yeah. And Lucy did this. Okay. And when you see this out of the blue and completely out of context, it's actually pretty hysterical, even in any context. But there she is. Yeah.
It's a bit disturbing.
And this is why we do love Lucy. So.
It's a bit disturbing.
This should be my what do you call wallpaper? This should be my screensaver, I think. Anybody remember that when they showed that on TV on commercials? Anywho,
I don't remember.
I remember this stuff. So,
You have a good memory, honey.
So I go on this morning. Anyway, so that was all. It's kind of backstory. This is where I am in my life right now. So I'm not going to enjoy Maryland until December. when I have a moment, a half a moment to breathe. Until then, it's just going to be like, get through it. Grade this. Oh, I'm done grading that. Okay, we're going. Oh, go! I gotta make slides. Oh, fuck! Moment after moment after moment, and then blessed sleep. Right. So that's what it is. And yet we wanted to come in because we haven't been in New York for like 2 months, and Joyce wanted to see her family and da da da. So
I had a medical appointment. I mean, it's for medicine.
I know this. I wasn't
okay.
going to mention that.
Yeah, that's okay. People can know. It's not. You don't know for what, but they know.
Well, can we say the idiocy of this of why?
No, please
no.
Don't. No, you cannot.
So
It's not your narrative. So
well, that's part of the narrative of why we're physically in New York. So so we come in kind of last minute, and I'm at first I'm like, it'd be great. I'm gonna go to the old bedroom where I grew up, open the laptop, finally grade the papers of these 2 classes that I just inherited, because I've had the course a week, I haven't touched them, because I didn't want to grade anything until I talked to them a little bit about what the assignment was supposed to be, because they did these papers for the older professor, by the way, I never spoke to that professor. I have nothing against her. I thank her for giving me the class so I can make a little more money, but she's not to be disturbed. She had open heart surgery. And I remember asking the woman from the other department who gave me the gig. I said, well, okay, so she had the surgery. She was at home. She's doing well, apparently. She didn't die on the table. She's recuperating, and recuperating very well. Why couldn't she just sit in her bed, and turn the class remote asynchronous, which means far away, and it's not even live. You don't even get on live Zoom with the kids. You just create assignments and you read them and you give them feedback, and do it at your leisure when you don't have to rest 15 hours a day to recoup. And she's like, no, it's open heart surgery. It doesn't quite. David Letterman didn't come back on late night a week and a half later and go, okay, I'm going to do a 5-minute show today, and then in 3 days I'm going to do a 10-minute show, and in 2 weeks it does not. I hope I never find out that it doesn't work like that. So we come to New York, but of course immediately my better instincts get the better of me. I'm like, wait, but I'm in New York, and I haven't been here in 2 months, and all these shows are opening. And Joyce is like, on the ride up here, she's like, well, you're going to do your show, right? I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do my Dave's Gone By show. I got to grade. I've got to do this. And she's like, that you live for that show. It's the only thing you actually love in this world, me included. Why are you not going to do the show?
Do you want me to make you tea or anything? I'm going to go make. I need tea.
Tea would be great,
okay.
Like a nice sweet. I know where sugar is.
You have agave.
Oh yeah, do the agave. So you got to do your show.
Oh.
So I'm sitting in the cab, and then Joyce teaches me. This is really great. If you use a hotspot on a phone, it'll connect to your computer, and you can actually get Wi-Fi on your computer wherever you are, which was wonderful.
Isn't it brilliant? Whoever invented that must have been a genius.
Well, anybody who invented it, the person who invented the Q key on a computer is a genius, right? The guy who said ones, zeros.
Oh, the binary code.
Genius. The guy who invented like a nail clipper, right? I imagine that back in the caveman days, either they were always scrabbling something, their nails never got long, or they just went to a rock. Like.
Is that how it went?
That's exactly how and they made the face too, like.
Really?
Oh, that's good. I'm fingering the wife tonight. So some genius. First they went with a file, because they needed the file to make weapons. And they're like, if I have a thing that you can open and then clip and then grip and go clip, 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 genius. Unheralded. I don't know who invented it. Probably Wiki will tell me. But, God bless them. So, we're in the car coming over, and now I've got internet. And am I working? Am I grading papers? Am I working on my syllabus or my lesson? No. It's like now I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a Dave's Gone By this week. I'm just going to do a Dave's Gone By. It's the one thing I love. So now I'm starting to write questions for the Today Yesterday quiz. And I went from not having one well, it was a long car ride from Maryland to New York. Oh, and I should mention, I'm not driving. Just so you know, it's not a self-driving car thing. It's that we hired a thing and we went, so I could sit in the back and work. So we have a Today Yesterday quiz on Dave's Gone By Today. Yeah, that written literally in a car on the way from Maryland to New York, and we have a Colorado limerick that I wrote when I came back, and the usual stuff, and Greeley Crimes at all times that I've been collecting already. So yeah, enough for a 2.5 hour classic style Dave's Gone By program. We don't have a guest, but we do have Ronald Rand and Vicky Quaddy and Leslie Hoban Blake coming in to play the quiz. Yay. So, you know, you always find time for more things when you have no time at all. I was taught this in high school, and it's true. You know, if you have 2 things to do over the course of the week, you know, you kind of put them off, you procrastinate, and then they sort of balloon and you take forever doing them. If you have 10 things to do, and you really only have time to do 7, you wind up doing 12. It is just the nature of time and the nature of humans. So yeah, I'm you know, grading, I'm doing the show today. And I'm delighted. But if you see the bags under my eyes, I will tell you that I went to New York City last night to see a show. And actually, I'm going to do an Inside Broadway segment because I saw a Broadway show yesterday evening. I wanted to. I'm in New York. I've been a theater critic for 35 years. How can I take even a short trip like this? How do I not step into a Broadway theater? So I set up a short show. It's a Friday night. Everything starts at 8 o'clock instead of 7. And I want to get home. I've got the show today. I'm coming in for a matinee later. So I want to get home early, sleep. And I do a show that I will review for you called Cost of Living, a Broadway drama by Martina Majok, M-A-J-O-K. I'll tell you about it in a bit. But it's supposed to be an hour and 40 minutes long. No intermission, so you know it's not going to go on forever. And get me out just if I run in time to make the 10:04 LIRR train back to my station, right? Where I parked, because I take my mother's car and park it at the station, so I don't even have the half a mile walk home. I can just come back to the station. Well, wouldn't you know, the play that was supposed to be an hour and 40 minutes long was really an hour and 55 almost minutes long. So I'm coming out of the theater and I'm hustling and I'm running, and New York is packed again. It was really packed coming in, but I had plenty of time to get to the theater. But coming out, it's still, it's a Friday night in New York. I missed the pandemic. There weren't that many goddamn people. Now, so you're dodging, you're wheeling, everybody's nuts, everybody's around. So trying to get from one street to another. And I realized that even if I can try jumping on the subway for one stop, the calculus is like, I've got 4 minutes. I looked at my watch, it was like 9:59, and I was still on the street. If I ran down to the subway, and the train was literally there, so I could take like a $2.75 gamble, take it, run, and still miss it by like a minute. So the hell with it. I'm just gonna go. I'll catch the first train to another local station. Thank you, dear. I'll take the next train to the nearest local station, and maybe I'll Uber, or you know what? No, I'll sit. Maybe I'll wait a little bit and go, and then grab a train.
Would you like a piece of bread with butter?
No, thank you very much. A train at a nearby track, and take that. So
careful.
This is what I do. So I miss the train I wanted to, and I missed it by like 10 minutes. So it really wasn't even close. So I missed that train. But now the way the LIRR schedules things is like the next train to the nearby station that I would need is another half hour, right? So now it's like, okay, I am not getting home by 11. Not even getting home by 11:15. It's going to be a late-ish night. So, but I'm like, fine, what the F. I wait in Penn Station, which parts are nice and parts are still not very nice and just like, meh. I don't know if they'll ever really make Penn Station nice. So I'm waiting. I grab a beverage and I hate doing this because they overcharge like crazy. I'm like sweating. So I grabbed this really good, it's like lime watermelon beverage. And it was sparkling beverage called Smash or Mash or something like that. Real good. It's like $4 for a bottle of this, but I'm like, you know what? Snapple is $3. I'll drink this. I hate inflation. I hate Penn Station. And I'm waiting, so I get on the train. No, and thank goodness, the lucky thing was the train right before me. You just had this mass of people who had gone to the Knick game, right? And Knicks won. So, but this mass of folks. I'm like, oh my God! Not only didn't I want to, now I'm going to be on, but really they went to the previous train that would have gone to another local-ish station. I'm like, I dodged that bullet. I'm not going to be standing there listening to a bunch of yahoos talking about the Knick game, playing their fucking radios and whatever else, and watching their YouTubes without earpieces, because people do that now. Everybody wants to hear what I'm listening to. I'm in New York. That's what happened. You haven't been to New York in a long time. It's not what they say was like everybody's shooting each other every second. But it's, well, yeah.
I was just busy.
Well, yeah, the noise level. And I'm deaf in this ear. And the noise level was still like, oh, Jesus, fuck. New York, man. But, so I get on this train, and then I get off at this other local station, and I realize I have a wait again. I can take an Uber to the car, or I can just, as it was beautiful weather, I can sit out on a bench. And it was chilly. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll go into the waiting. They're on the platform. They have a waiting room thing, all built with chairs, and it's nice and lit. But they, because New York is New York, they fucking lock it at nightfall. I can't imagine when it's 40 degrees out and you have to wait a half hour at the station for a train. And I say, oh, a nice little place, the heated night. You can't get in. So, it's for morning commuters. And then they're like, because they don't want bums peeing in it. They don't want people fucking in it. I don't know what they want. So, but I'm sitting on the bench. I've got my computer open. I downloaded stuff so I could grade papers. Yay. And I did. This is very pleasant. I get on the train. And I've got only two stops to take, right? And it's already, now we're getting on about 10 to midnight. Get on there. And I wait once, I go one stop, I go to the next stop, I get off the train. And then it occurs to old Dave, who's a little bit underslept and a little bit overworked, it occurs to me that, I do believe that I parked at the station that we just passed. And I missed it. And now I'm going one extra station over.
Oh, boy.
So I get, I'm not even sure until I get off the train and then I realize, no, I didn't park here. So now I'm thinking, do I take an Uber to the car again, right? Or do I just kind of walk in? It was like just about a mile away. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm in for a penny. I'm in for a pound. I'm, could use the exercise and the weather's still gorgeous. Let me just go for a nice long hike. I make sure I'm so tired, I get the GPS going. I've done this walk a few times in my life, but, I get the GPS. I'm like, okay, walk. Pleasant walk. Takes me about 15, 20 minutes. I call an old friend to talk to, and then I get to the other station where my car is parked, and it's there, and I'm getting in the car, and like out of nowhere materializes this Spanish kid. Not a boy, but had to be in like his early 20s. And I'm like, literally, I didn't see him, and suddenly he's there. This is, I'm sure, how women are raped in parking lots.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, what? I'm looking at him, and I'm trying to see if he's carrying any kind of weapon or anything that could hurt me.
Oh, God.
Who approached it? We're talking about, it's now 12:15.
You said he was drunk, right?
Yeah, once I caught his breath.
Oh.
And it's like, 65. I'm like, what? Like, 65. I'm like, and I have high school Spanish. So I'm asking him, no, ¿dónde quieres ir? Where do you want to go? Because, the station, I'm assuming, I don't know if he's trying to ask, which direction is New York, which direction is, you know, which direction is far east on Long Island, but, you know, and I want to help him.
Did you say far east?
Well, you know, I don't want to say what state, you know, going towards
I know.
that way as opposed to going to Queens and Manhattan. But all I can get out of this guy is like, no hablo, 60 cents. And now I'm thinking, okay, does he want me to give him 65 cents? Yeah. And we're standing in front of my car. I just want to go the fuck home. And then this guy is like, and he's like up next to me. I'm like backing away. But the good part was he was like literally 2 inches shorter than I am, and like a rail. So I'm not afraid of this guy. But at the same time, if this guy has a knife or something, I'm afraid of him. So I'm like, what cane is it? I'm telling you, el tren está aquí, Nueva York, and I think what he wanted me to do, I'm not sure.
I think he thought you were his Uber driver.
Or an Uber driver. He thought that I would somehow take him to... He showed me on his phone an address in Corona, Queens.
Aww.
I'm like, and he said, and why is it 65 something Corona Avenue? I'm like, no, I'm going out mi casa. It didn't even occur to me that he thought I was an actual Uber driver. I thought he just saw me go to my car, walk over to my car. He must have, because, you know, my mom's car is black and SUV-ish.
That's like Uber 101, yeah.
Yeah, could be certainly mistaken for an Uber or a Lyft car.
Or maybe Lyft, yeah, Lyft too.
So, but I'm telling you, and he would have understood. He could have put in good Spanish, slowly, that I would have understood. Necesito voy a Corona, Queens, manejar, usted maneja, or something like that. But he just kept repeating the number. And I was like, donde quieras.
Or maybe there are some, like, bars and stuff that when people are drunk, they give them a ride. You know,
great.
Like, so maybe he thought you were that ride.
I was not that ride.
No, but maybe he thought.
And I tried to tell him, no, and he was fine. I was like, well, okay. And he gives me a fist bump. I'm like, okay, fuck, go away from me. You know, I'm not driving you back to Mexico. Go away.
No, Corona, just Corona Queen.
And so then, if I figure he's waiting for some kind of ride, he goes up on the platform and sits on the bench on the platform. So I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't, just go to Jamaica, right?
I wonder if he's still there today.
Then I would feel bad for the guy.
I mean, what would they do on the train? Would they boot him off?
If he didn't have a ticket.
But he would have money. Maybe they could get
money. Maybe he had $65 to pay anyone to take him to Corona, Queens. Wow. All you do is go to Jamaica, and then you could, I don't know, there's no Corona stop, which is weird.
Subway. He'd go, like, to Astoria. I don't know where.
Exactly. Go up to Jamaica, and then get a much cheaper Uber to some address in Corona. But I couldn't help the guy. I'm like, if he just told me what he wanted.
You should have said...
Or I could take your phone. Let me call an Uber.
You should have said policia. You need the police. They would have helped him.
I guess. Yeah. It wasn't that kind of situation. I wasn't worried. I was on the phone with my friend. So he was holding the whole time. And he was like, Dave, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. But he was on there and was really nice. I understand women who make phone calls while they're walking at night because, there's someone there who's listening to what's going on, And then about 12:30 at night, I'm at 12:20, I get in the car, drive home, go up the driveway, walk in, and I'm like, an hour and a half late. on a weekend when I just wanted to rest, on a weekend when I just wanted to plan everything so that I would have some downtime and be able to get up this morning rested and refreshed.
Oh, yes.
And then after this show, go into New York and see a show. The only quote-unquote good thing, and I apologize for saying this, the only good thing is I was supposed to see two, I'm not going to get into the whole logistics of this, but it turned out, and I didn't even want to do this, to see two shows today instead of one. And then my night show got canceled, assumedly because someone in the cast of my night show has COVID. And the press agent literally texted me at 11 o'clock at night to say, no, we're canceling any kind of press or whatever performances because this actor is going to be out.
What happens if you would have shown up?
If who had shown up?
Like if you didn't, let's say for some reason you lost your phone or whatever.
If I did not get the message, I think they would not have let me in.
Wow.
Or I would have had to contact the agent and had them say, look, I'm here. You know.
But maybe you wouldn't review it. Then you wouldn't review it.
Right, but then why would they won't let me back? It becomes logistically a thing for the producers. So.
Because a lot of people are not responsible, you know. They might miss the text or they might not, you know.
And that has happened to me. I've gone into the city. It was only a couple of years ago. I was supposed to see a show. And Barbara Cook was, well, I guess it is a few years ago. Barbara Cook's not in anything now except some sort of cloud. But she was in some shows, the Sondheim Review thing. And get there, and the show's canceled. This is pre-COVID. This is like, you know, she was not feeling well or something was going on. And now it's like 5 to 2. And I'm in the city. I've schlepped in. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go home. We're going to do this. So I run to the tickets booth, and I ended up buying a cheap-ish ticket to see the revival of the Heidi Chronicles, which was all right, you know. But, sometimes you do what you got to do. But I'm very happy. I shouldn't be happy. I'm in the most important city in the world. And I'm seeing a matinee. And if I just stick around a couple of hours and go to a library with my computer, and then I could see another Broadway show, 3 shows in like 30 hours. But I'm like, you know what? No, I'm seeing a musical in the afternoon. And then I'm going to get on a train home. And if I have a little extra time, if I have just a little bit of extra time, I'll do my usual. I'll go back from the show, not down 8th Avenue, but over to 9th. I'll stop at the hole-in-the-wall Indian restaurant buffet, and I'll grab a beautiful naan-bread.
Were you able?
No, I mean today.
Is that your goal, huh?
It is my goal that if the show runs just enough that I've got like half an hour between getting from 47th Street back to Penn Station.
And you're sure that show's running?
That show should be. I mean, I guess I'll check.
Maybe park at the big station today.
I can't. I don't think I can park. You know, what do you call it?
On the weekend?
You have to pay. Yeah, 24/7. No. So that one and the one I park is the same difference. It's the same line. It's no extra trains there.
But it's bigger.
Oh, no, I don't care about that.
Okay.
It's about doing the other station that has more trains per hour coming to it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and that station is anal. You can't even park. You know, if they think you're a commuter, they will ticket you.
Oh my God.
You can't park on the street. If you're a commuter in this, yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah,
they have like parking,
and they're very, very diligent about that.
But you think about it, because if you live there, you don't want like everyone parking, in your neighborhood block in your driveway and such.
Right. So that's why they do it. You know, that's why it's a village, and they're very careful about. Well, if you can buy a non-resident pass, which would be worth it for people, if we lived here, if we lived in that particular town.
You can't buy a day pass?
Well, you can go park at a meter. You can.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay.
But to park for free, I'm Jewish. I want to park for free.
Yeah, but you could park in the meter until the meter expires, and then until time expires at night.
I think it's 24/7.
Oh my
God.
And
God forbid I get stuck in Manhattan, 3:30 to 5:30. Everything's illegal.
Yeah.
A.M. 3:30 to 5:30.
Yeah, you can't. No.
No overnights.
Don't do it.
So I don't want to deal. I shouldn't have to deal. I'm too cheap. I'm too Jewish. I'm too old. I don't live here.
So just if you ever need, just go to somebody in a parking lot and go, 65?
65. Por favor. 65. Yeah. And then once, if they drive me and I'm in their car, I'm teaching Chaucer's The Partner's Tale. And then be like, don't you even speak any English? No, I never said that.
No. That's funny.
Just completely freak them out, and then have them stab me.
No, but that you gotta, you'll figure something out. What time is your show?
Right now, my matinee is 2:00.
Thank you, David.
And we already have. Oh my God, we have 3 people in the waiting room
kidding.
Getting ready to play the Today Yesterday Trivia Quiz on the 868th episode of Dave's Gone By.
You cannot run till noon because you have to be on the train.
Well, I'm going to take the 1 o'clock train. Fuck it.
Okay.
I'm going to take a 1 o'clock train. I'm going to brave. And of course, this. I just mentioned I'm Jewish. I talk to my mother, and I tell her, "Hey, yes, I'm going to the city again today." She said, "You're not taking the subway, are you?"
Why?
I'm like, "No, I'm not taking." She's like, 4 people this week have been shot on the subways. I'm like,
don't take that train.
I asked her, well, where was the last one? And she said somewhere like Mott Avenue. I'm like, not going to Mott Avenue. It could happen anywhere, of course.
Tell them about your friend with the parents' weekend.
Well, this is it.
That's
not New York.
Am I mixing
well, no, where is? I can mention this. So I go back.
College. Tell it.
Yes.
Okay, I'll look.
I go back to see, the one thing I really want to do is see the old gang that I was working with.
It's in New York.
It is in New York, but where? Is it upstate or is it Westchester?
It's in Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie. There's a college in Poughkeepsie.
Oh, remember, I looked at,
yeah.
It's not St. Joe's, but I interviewed at St. Joe's or another one out there, didn't I?
I don't know if it was Poughkeepsie.
A long time ago, yeah.
Went to Hartsdale for some reason. I don't remember what that was for. I think it was just for fun. Because everybody goes to Hartsdale, New York for fun. But we go.
I'm reading about it in the Post.
I go see my old. I will call them friends now. These people that I used to.
Your old potatoes. Let's be real.
I wanted to make sure. I left some of my potato friends at my old place of work.
It was a Courtyard by Marriott.
That's where it happened. So I go see my friend, these people I worked with, and they're great, and they're doing fine. And two of them were absent yesterday, just my luck. But I talked to my old boss, I talked to my old coworker. I see that they're taking beautiful care of the potatoes that I left there. I was very happy. And I say, well, how are you guys doing? And the woman that I worked with, she said, well, my kids are in college now. One's in this college, one's in that one. And we were up there on Parents' Weekend just like 2 weeks ago. And we were staying at one of these hotels along a hotel strip of like a Marriott, a Courtyard, a Hilton, and this and that. And the hotel just next to us, where we could have been staying, there were two homeless guys who were booked into a room there somehow. Two homeless men somehow at a room on Parents' Weekend. When parents were if you didn't call in and book the reservation weeks before, you couldn't get in. And yet two homeless men had a room in this Marriott hotel, and they got into some kind of drunken or drug-oriented altercation and started shooting up the place. And some parent of a kid at this college in Poughkeepsie got shot in the head and died. Just go out for coffee. That's America. It's literally, it's almost what I'm teaching in my course about journey and quest through the plague pandemic. One of the things is the inevitability and the unknowability of death. But, it was like, talking to her, and it's like, oh yeah, we were there, and that weekend they locked the other hotel down. This parent just died randomly because these two homeless crazies were shooting each other up. It's life, it's death, and it's Dave's Gone By, which airs every Saturday from 9 until noon or thereabouts here on the Dave's Gone By Facebook page. And of course, we post all our archives at davesgoneby.com, archive.org, castbox.fm, just for the audio downloads. And obviously, people are finding us on archive.org because they found our Peter Tork interview from a few years back. So yay. Wherever you find Dave's Gone By, we also have a YouTube channel and lots of places to find our content. Please do, and please tell folks that we're here. And also joining us here in the neighborhood live on this Friday, on this Saturday. I don't know why I'm Friday on my name. Saturday, October 15th, 2022, are some great old and newish friends. Old and newish and partly Jewish occasionally. Won't you welcome? Oh boy, and we're all joining us just in time to play the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. I don't know if it looks the same to you, but in my upper left-hand corner, amongst the pumpkins, we have the lovely and delightful Vicky Quaddy. Hello, Vicky.
Hello. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning. And the gang's all here. And then below her, another theater maker and theater writer. His name is Ronald Rand. Ronald is the creator of a one-man show about Harold Clurman. He's also working on an opera about... Is also an opera about Clurman, or is it? What is it?
It's about 2 hours.
Oh, is it about 2 hours? You got to unmute, Ron. You're still muted.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leslie,
Yeah. No. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome.
It's the first opera ever written about Henrik Ibsen.
Oh, Ibsen. I'm sorry. Of course,
Yes.
the Ibsen opera, and it's a
Yeah.
slamming farce. If you know what I'm saying.
Yes, you could say that. Yes.
And we also have with us, ladies and gentlemen, also, but someone who has to unmute her mic. There we go. Leslie Hoban Blake, on time and looking beautiful. How are you, Leslie?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm exhausted.
Hello, everyone.
Guess where I am, Les?
I don't know. In your mother's house?
Yep, back in we went in for a whirlwind trip to New York, and here I am for like a day.
I recognize the fact that it's different from where you were the last time.
Yeah, and the way I was for the past 3 years. So yeah, we're here. I'm seeing some theater and just grading a bunch of papers and doing.
What did you see?
I'm going to review it later, but I guess I can even talk about it with you since you're here. If you saw it, it's Martina Mayok's play Cost of Living being done at the Theater Club.
Is that all you saw while you were in town?
I've been in town since Thursday night.
Critical.
Well, you could have seen Friday night. You could have seen Friday night as well.
Yeah, and 5 other shows. Yeah.
No, when you die.
We came in too late on Thursday to see anything. And,
so what are you seeing tonight?
I'm seeing only one show. I'm seeing 1776 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I saw that.
Uh-oh.
No. I haven't made up my mind yet. I have to be honest with you. I love the show so much, and I don't want to say anything because you haven't seen it.
Right.
I mean, I love 1776 so much. I even saw it in London, which was really funny because you sit in a room full of Brits watching, and it was...
Oh. It's a tragedy from their perspective.
It was in the 70s sometime. Oh, no, the audience loved it. But really? It was a traditional 1776.
And now this one was all done with women and transgender and binary and people with no testicles and what have you. And,
Yeah, like that,
right. For John Adams, I think he has a third, or she does, something like that.
The thing that bothered me more than even that, I think, was the change in the orchestration.
Oh. Did they cut it down? Did they?
Well, you'll have to watch it for yourself.
But what did you think? And you guys were nodding when I mentioned Martina Mayok's, because I don't have to go inside Broadway, so I can just yak about it with you guys.
Did you not see it years ago off Broadway at Manhattan Theater Club?
No, I didn't see it. I did not get to see it. I was probably in Colorado. So
that scene of the woman in the bathtub stayed with me all these years. So when she did it again, I still went like that. It was still a gasping moment.
That was a gasping moment. Ron, you're nodding. Did you see the show either off Broadway?
No, I've read about it and heard about it. I mean, I've been so busy going to lots of other things. I went to the Idea Awards down at the Players Club, and it was great because they.
That was a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, they give out it is a good idea. They give out these awards to people like Deb Margolin and also Daniel Alexander Jones and John Lyles and. Deb Margolin. So I'm going to be interviewing.
I'm really upset. I'm going to miss the split britches thing at La Mama because I can't do all the stairs and the weirdness to get around in La Mama. Mm-hmm. But I loved it. Am I right? Deb Margolin is part of Split Britches, is she not?
Yeah, she is.
Well, no, that's Lois Weaver and Peggy Shaw. Is she?
You're right. It's Peggy Shaw I'm thinking of. Where did I get? Was Deb Margolin
but she writes for them.
Upon a time?
Yeah, she does.
She's part of them. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I thought she was part of them originally.
She is. Yeah.
When I had my theater on East 4th Street, we were right up the street from La Mama, and they were playing. I'm mad about the way their minds work and the kind of work that they do. And I think it was, I don't remember if it was Weaver or Shaw, but one of them did a show several years ago where she dressed up as a man. And nothing spectacular about that these days, but she said she made a better looking man than she did a woman. And I thought, what an interesting idea. Because as one gets older, as a female, that's probably true. And she also looked much younger as a man than she did as a woman. And I thought, pulling her hair back, she said,
Didn't they do some kind of deconstruction of Streetcar Named Desire also, where they were one was...
It's possible. I haven't seen them since that show, but I really wanted to see this one. And I just won't be able to.
Well, you know what I say, the son of a britch. Anywhu, that's a britches joke right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Something like that.
Vicky, not to leave you out of the convo, but how have you been doing?
That's okay. I've been all right. I did a little segment yesterday on NBC 5 local
Oh,
I'll send you the link.
yes, please.
It's really cute. And,
What was it about? What about how Holy Ghost?
I was dressed in Abbott,
Oh,
and I talked about Holy Ghost bingo and late night catechism and the donations that we've made to the nuns and all. And I did some questions to the two hosts. It was cute.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's great.
That's wonderful. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Well, what
the
I
closest I'm going to get to seeing your show, so you know.
Well, at some point, you think you'll actually? There's a legit question. You think you'll travel again, if not by plane, maybe? No.
I mean, me? Oh, I've got.
I'm asking Leslie because Leslie has.
No, I will never. No, I travel by train. I'll go anywhere by train.
Oh.
I will not, and I'll travel by car a certain distance, but I will never get on another plane as long as I live.
Really?
No.
Wow.
It's just too much hassle. If you're not able-bodied, getting through a concourse, much less getting on and off a plane. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Well,
I've done it in a wheelchair. You know.
Well, yeah. When if they take you and they
no, it's too damn much trouble.
I get it.
The time it takes to get from the front door to the plane, I could be in New Jersey. You know, I mean, I don't.
Oh well, who wouldn't? You know, fuck Italy. I want to go to New Jersey. I could be in New Jersey now.
But then once I got somewhere, I couldn't get around. Unless I went to a place that was absolutely flat and didn't have cobblestones. You know, it's
Kansas.
I want to go to Taormina. I want to go to the Italian coast. I want to go to and those are places I could never go. So that's that. But I traveled a lot when I was younger, so I'm not unhappy about it.
And you wouldn't step on like a blimp or something. You wouldn't take a blimp somewhere if they were available.
When we have our own private little planes that you put on like a piece of clothing and zip up the front and you're in it, I'll go then. Okay.
Well, you have to live long enough to do that. I hope we all do.
Yeah, and the next thing is, of course, is you can go all these places in that metaverse thing, putting those goggles on your head.
So that's the thing. That's
if
why
you want to do that,
right.
Well, why not? You know what? We roll our eyes and like, oh, you got to be kidding. The generation of kids that I have to teach right now, they'd be like, sure, you know, I'm there.
Yeah, but it's not reality.
Does it matter anymore?
Well, it does. Yes, that's why I do my show live. It matters to me, and it matters to the audience who come to see the show. I mean, where would we be without live theater? I mean, it would be ridiculous. So, yes, it does matter, at least in my.
And yet, if it weren't for televised and filmed things, I don't think I would have made it through the pandemic because there was no live. So, I mean, yes, I'm grateful that live is back, but I'm so grateful that we had televised and filmed during the pandemic. You have no idea.
Not to mention this show, Dave's Gone By, where we are about to embark on our weekly Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. It's a pretty simple quiz. Well, no, the rules are simple. The questions are stupid.
How you created the quiz.
Good morning, Joyce.
Hello.
Hey, Leslie. Hey, Vicky. Hey.
Hi, Joyce.
Good morning.
Weren't you instrumental in that? Because it was when we were doing trivia with Leslie?
How you wrote the quiz. So if any questions are odd, you can...
Well, the thing was, I wasn't planning even to do a show today, but Joyce convinced me. She's like, you know what? You got to do it, Dave. This is what you live for in life.
Yeah.
Because I'm teaching 6 classes. I'm just all over I literally have to concentrate minute to minute. But she's like, oh, you have to. And we're in the car going from Maryland to New York.
Just say you're not driving.
I'm not driving, yeah. Somebody's driving us. And she's like, here's a hotspot on your phone. You can get the internet. Go. And I wrote 7 questions in the car on the way from Maryland to New York.
What a couple. What a magnificent couple.
Beautiful.
Good, but I think the ones when we get to Jersey, you kind of made unhappy.
Yeah, the Delaware questions are really good, you know, because I was still fresh. By the time I get
to... You don't know which questions are which. Do we get points if we can guess where you wrote it?
Well, I think the Delaware questions are the early ones, because I'm going this way, right? Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and they are short. They are shorter than usual. So we may get this done in like 10 minutes. We'll see. I doubt it. So what I do need to do, as usual, is ask. And I will ask Ronald, since you're kind of the least known person on here. If
the newbiest of our newbies.
Okay, thank you.
Could you roll? Could you?
Yeah. I can roll. Yes.
Yes, and you gave me the rock present, which I love. Which we're just.
Thank you. Yes.
And Leslie actually gave me a mezuzah. So thank you.
You really are all over the place. We've done all this. You thanked us for the rock. You thanked us for the mezuzah. It's okay.
And Vicky, you still haven't sent me a damn thing. So you automatically.
Good wishes.
Her
good wishes.
I don't know where you live.
There you go. Good wishes.
I'll send you my. But Ronald,
Yes.
I need a number between 1 and 6.
All right. How about 3?
3. Ronald with a 3. Okay, and Vicky, please. What number?
1.
Oh,
in here.
1.
1.
Oh,
Vicky with a
wow.
1.
I know a lot of people
with the whole thing.
We haven't
Wow.
done 1 for a while, so you
Yeah.
know.
Now, Leslie.
Why would I change?
That's
I
right.
love that number. I really do love that number. It looms
Right.
large in my life. I don't know. It started when I was a kid. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I guess you're kind of a 6 addict. All right. We're going to roll the die here.
Okay.
It's about time I did. And it comes up with a number 4. Of course it does. And it comes up with a 4 again. Let's roll that. Ooh, Leslie Hoban Blake. Would you like to go first, second, or third?
No, I want to go second, please. Thank you.
Oh, strategy.
Wow.
I know. I don't like going first. It's makes more sense to me to listen to what other people think and say, and then have a better idea.
True.
All right.
By the way, we're having silence here while I roll this stupid die.
I just want to know, did you bring potato with you or not?
What do you mean bring potato with me? Well, I have a lot of potatoes.
He's got 46,000 potatoes in his mother's garage, he said.
They're in the basement, actually, and yes, they are here. I'm literally rolling this die for... Oh my God!
Oh my God.
I hate this thing! What is wrong with this?
Oh my gosh.
1! All right.
1.
Vicky, 1. Would you like to be first or
I'll
third?
go first.
No, Vicky.
Whoa, good.
Wow.
First and number 1. Wow.
Ronald bringing up the rear. Here we go.
Okay.
So, are you
There we
guys
go.
ready to play the game? Yeah. All right. So, Vicky Quaggy, this first question is for you.
Okay.
And remember, it's called the Today Yesterday quiz. Every question is worth 2 points if you get it right. If you don't get it right, somebody gets to steal for 2 points. And really, almost none of these questions is actually based in history on what happened on October 15th, although they are October 15th related.
Yeah.
So Vicky, did you know
Oh, God.
that October 15th is International Penguin Awareness Day?
I did not.
Well, in fact, I guess it's International African Penguin Awareness Day.
Oh,
Yeah, I got that one wrong. Okay, well, you do now. Which of these is false about African penguins? A group of baby penguins is called a bevy. B, African penguins are the only penguins in Africa. C, their relationships are monogamous. Or D, they don't fart. Only one of these is...
been around penguins. I've been around penguins in Chicago, in
Wait,
Australia.
What, desperate penguins visiting the hockey team? Why are we around penguins in Chicago?
At the
So
zoo.
because she wears a habit as a nun.
At the zoo. That's right. Thank you, Leslie.
Don't do that when I'm drinking, Leslie.
Yeah, that'll work.
Brava, brava.
I've seen penguins in Australia several times. I've been in Australia. And I've seen penguins somewhere else. I can't remember where. Maybe in South America. But not in Africa. So I have to figure out. Do they fart? Probably do. They poop a lot. I know that. Are they monogamous? Possibly. Is it called a bevy? Maybe. Are they the only ones in Africa? Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. So I'm going to guess that not the only ones in Africa. I'm just going to say that.
So your final answer is not true. That African penguins are the only penguins in Africa. Final answer?
I'm going to say that, sure.
We found this again. Yay, it's back.
Oh!
Okay, almost.
Do that thing.
Oh my God.
Practice.
I do. It's been 2 months I could practice on it.
Yeah, you've been away too long. Yeah.
I'm certainly not. Well, no, I had a joke.
Clearly, I got this wrong.
I am going to say you got this wrong. You got this wrong. African penguins are truly the only penguins in Africa, the only kind of penguins there. So I'm going to roll the die again. This is going to take some fun time. Number 2. Number 5. Oh, geez. No, I'm going to number 4 again.
Yeah, 5 used to be Leslie or David.
Yep.
It was David. It was never me.
No, Vicky. Vicky, you just answered that.
She
It just rolled a number more.
Incorrectly. Oh, I got another chance? Wait.
No. But you know who does? Ronald. Ronald, you just rolled a 3.
Come on, Ryan.
Okay.
Come on.
Wow. Can you say those
The
again?
remaining choices again. So here's
Yes.
the deal. Today is International African Penguin Awareness Day. You knew that. Which of these is false about African penguins?
Yes.
Excuse me. A group of baby penguins is called a bevy. C, their relationships are monogamous. Or D, they don't fart.
I think it's I'm going to go with the bevy question. Answer. Whatever.
Any particular reason or not?
It just sounds like it might not be a bevy.
Wait, let me say.
Let's see what it is.
Miss American.
I spent so much time around penguins.
Drove my Chevy to the bevy, and you get 2 points. Because you're right, ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Ronald Rand. Here's the deal. There are not. It is. You can have a bevy of otters, but it is a creche of penguins.
Oh,
If you have a creche, isn't that lovely?
Gosh.
And no penguins apparently don't fart. There's something about their systems that do poop, but they do.
I wouldn't have gotten it right, I don't think. I think I would have gone for the fart thing. So
We all go for the fart thing, essentially. Yeah. And not every penguin is monogamous, but they tend to be.
They tend to be, yeah.
Oh,
So I didn't know there were any penguins in Africa.
Yeah, who knew? You figure they've been cold climates and the ice.
Well, the March of the Penguins is a movie I've seen 2 or 3 times. It's just remarkable. Yeah. Yeah. Extraordinary.
Well,
David, did you get the link I sent you to Potato Comes to America?
Wait, Potato Comes to America. There's a movie that was. I think we saw it on Netflix, or we didn't watch it, but we haven't had a chance to.
Yes,
watch.
I sent you a link to it. I
knows
thought what a
about it, yeah.
wonderful thing for you, you know.
Oh,
to add
well,
to
did
your
you guys
collection.
see the story that was, I think, in the New York Post? It was not the front page, but it was a major story in the New York Post that the guy driving the enormous Idaho potato truck cross country. You see this thing? It's like a flatbed truck with like a 5,000-ton potato, fake, a constructed potato on it to advertise Idaho potatoes.
It's the Idaho Spuds truck.
The Idaho Spud truck.
It's like a gigantic potato, like in an 18-wheeler. It's tethered by chains to the back of a truck.
Yeah, and it's to bring awareness to potatoes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something happened to it.
Yeah, right.
Well, the guy was caught speeding. He was going 63 in a 54, and the cop pulled him over and wrote like a ticket out, like Mr. Spud, going 63. And the only dangerous part is I don't think the potato was tethered tightly enough. So can you imagine if you were going up like a mountain in Colorado, up the side, and it kind of tips a little bit?
Yeah.
Hundreds of people are killed, and it's like, how would they die? You won't.
Crushed
How
by a
did they
potato.
die? Yeah.
I mean, what a way to go!
Mashed by a potato.
Yeah.
Right, man.
You're driving on the highway and you're like la 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 la, and you see like a 2-ton potato flying at you.
A flying giant potato.
That's surreal. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And of course, it was only because the driver was peeling around corners. But I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Leslie Hoban Blake, you have chosen to go second.
I have.
And therefore, you get the second question.
Well, the way that works out is really interesting. I mean,
Is it 3 clues in the news? Is it?
No,
no, that's not.
Those are coming. Leslie, you get a regular, ridiculous, multiple choice question.
Regular, ridiculous. Okay.
Now, you will not forget
RR.
October 15th is International Penguin Awareness Day. You know this. But did you know that October 15th is also National Cheese Curd Day? It is.
Oh, wow.
Apparently it is.
Okay.
So,
have you ever eaten cheese curds?
That's all right.
If they're fresh, they're incredibly fun.
And they squeak if they're fresh.
But only if they're fresh. If they're not fresh,
right.
they don't squeak. Right.
Yeah.
Just eat the eraser on your pencil.
This might be too knowledgeable.
Yeah, you might get this one, Leslie. You might not. So, which of these is false, Leslie, about cheese curds?
Wow.
A, Breakstone's cottage cheese is owned by a company called Lactalis Heritage Dairy. B, when you chew cheese curds, it makes a squeaking noise.
Oh, well, we just gave that away.
Yeah. Good.
You can make curd from any cheese, not just cheddar. Or D, Kurdistan doesn't have cheese curd because they use goat's milk. Which of these is false?
Wow.
How do you make cheese curds?
I don't know anything about I think you can make it from any cheese. I actually sent to a company in Milwaukee with cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee is cheese. Yeah, I actually sent there to get, because I wanted to try them and I wanted something, and they send them to you like, in dry ice and all of that. But I don't know if they were different flavors. That's the thing I don't remember. Lactalis, Breakstone, goat's milk. I'll go with number one, with A.
So you're saying it is not true that Breakstone's cottage cheese is owned by a company called Lactalis Heritage Dairy. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a guess.
Well, I'm afraid your answer lacks something, Leslie Van Blake. It was owned for a while by Kraft Heinz, and then a group of Kraft Heinz people formed Lactalis Heritage Dairy, which now owns Breakstone's cottage cheese and some other concerns as well. And I'm concerned because it's going to take me 10 million years to roll a die here. Let's do it. Let's see who comes up. 2, 1. Vicky.
Me.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so the squeak, which I think we know they do, at Kurdistan doesn't have it because of the goat milk. And what's the third one?
You can make curd. Is it true or false? You can make curd from any cheese, not just cheddar.
Oh, from any cheese. Oh, I'm going to say it's Kurdistan.
Is that your final answer?
Sure, why not?
Well, I'm glad that occurred to you because that is the correct answer.
Oh, excellent. I thought I was setting Ron up for 2 more points.
No, you had it.
And by the way, curds, they don't use goat, they use sheep's milk. They're just FYI. And they can have curd. No problem at all. That's for sure. And the reason that the cheese squeaks is it rubs against your tooth enamel. And some kind of thing happens when it does that, and it makes a squeak.
Because the curd has a slight skin on it. It literally looks like a Cheeto.
This right here.
Shaped like a Cheeto, and the way it holds its shape is that whatever that way that skin is formed.
Huh.
It's not a skin like on a Frankfurter or something. It's a natural part of the cheese. That's what makes the squeak, is when that hits. And so when it's not fresh, it doesn't do that. It sounds like I know a lot about this. I'm a cheese lover who winds up having to use lactate. I suddenly become lactose intolerant in my old age.
Oh, no.
You a Wisconsin girl and you're not admitting that? What's the deal here?
Say that again?
Are you a Wisconsin girl, but you're not admitting it?
No, I'm not a Wisconsin girl. I was born in Brooklyn. I raised in Manhattan. What was
You say that. You say that.
So, Liz, you can't have ice cream or anything like that, or you can't.
Not unless I take a lactate pill. You know the.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
She can have soy or almond milk ice cream.
Yes, that's what I do. I immediately switched over to that, and I've discovered some incredible dairy-free cheeses. They're amazing. Ooh. They're really, really good. Initially, they were like erasers, but they have developed methods. Certain brands have developed wonderful methods of making.
I'm going to further that because one of the restaurants we go to all the time in Maryland makes vegetarian sandwiches. And God knows I'm not a vegan or vegetarian, but Joyce is a vegetarian. And, some will use lettuce and they'll do mushrooms in a way that they taste like bacon. And it's really
exactly.
good.
That's right.
And they have cashew or whatever they make the cheese at.
Yeah, they melt it.
And it melts. And
it's delicious.
It's good. It really is. I'm not making allowances for vegetarian food. It's okay. It's really good.
No, well, the thing is, I mean, if I'm home, I prefer the vegan and the vegetarian now to the regular stuff. But if I'm out, I don't have those options, unless I go somewhere that has those options.
Or you carry a bag for your poop, which
my kids are vegetarian. My kids are vegetarian bordering on vegan. In fact, our Thanksgiving several times have been made out of nothing but beans, Wow. But
oh my God,
various lentils and
do they go home immediately after that?
No, it's their house. I'm at their house. I go to their house.
It's great to go to Wisconsin because when you arrive at the state line, you see this huge statue of a cheese. And then you can go a lot of places and find the squeaky cheese. And it's so delicious.
Oh, is it a wheel of cheese? Is the statue a giant wheel of cheese?
It's a giant. It's a giant mouse.
It was a cheese. Now
it's the Mars Cheese Castle.
Wait, I actually have some audio of Thanksgiving at Leslie's house.
Oh no!
We gather together to ask the Lord's blessings. He hastened to make.
It's not at my house. It's at their house. I'm not a vegetarian. They're vegetarian.
Most vegetarians and vegans, like when you eat a plant-based diet, you're used to it. It's not.
I know. Over the river and through the horse goes away to carry.
Joyce, what do you do for Thanksgiving in lieu of actual turkey?
Leslie, I don't. So in my own ethical practice, I don't really celebrate holidays at all. But
okay.
I don't. I think I don't know. I usually eat, if they have mashed potato or vegetables, or I make a salad, but I don't. It's like you said, when you go to other people's houses, it's like catch us, catch can, right?
But my sister is an ethical vegetarian, but she eats one of those tofurkeys.
Yeah, that's right.
And
nothing. That's what she does.
Have you tried it?
She wants something that is turkey-like.
Right.
My kids don't even go there. My kids just make other things. They don't make faux turkey. They just go for all vegetarian food.
But Leslie, I love the name of it, of course, but I've never tried tofurkey. Have you eaten her tofurkey?
It's not as good. It's not as good as some of the Impossible meats, which are wonderful and taste like real meat. But the tofurkey is unless it's been upgraded. It was an early thing that came on the market, and it tastes nasty like all that early stuff is.
It tasted like dog food,
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Exactly. I didn't want to be so graphic, Vicki, but you can get it on the head.
That's a little bit between, there should be some balance between it's not as good as turkey or as these Impossible meats. No, it tastes like dog food.
That's a big swing.
Didn't they make soyurkey or tempurkey or seitan turkey or something?
Seitan turkey, no.
No,
but you can make a BLT with mushrooms and grill them. It tastes so good.
You can get fake bake. My daughter's a vegetarian and has been for 20 plus years. Right. She started when she was 7 years old.
Oh my God.
I have cooked vegetarian for all those years. And there's lots of products now.
There are, especially now.
We did tofurkey and we cut a little slice and then said,
But last night I had a lamb chop for dinner and made chicken for today. So, I'm very much not a vegetarian when it comes to that.
But it occurred to me, it's sort of the equivalent of when I was growing up kosher with my family. And back in the 1970s, late 60s, 70s, there's, non-dairy ice cream if you want to have it after meat. And it was all right. And now, the past 25 years, it's like, you might as well. You could go kosher the whole time. You're not missing anything.
No. Technology changes. Yeah, technology changes. Food.
And then food production and whatever they're doing in labs with chemicals and things. It is rather, and I feel that's the same way now about vegetarian. They're figuring out ways.
My problem is I also am very mindful of salt. like seitan and all the fake meats and stuff.
Right.
They load it up with salt, and I don't
That's
want preservatives, so I'm like a natural eater. So it's very hard because they have to fill it with something. So like the place that we go to, they make a chickpea burrito. It's really good, but they use a pickled broccoli, pickled cauliflower or something.
Yeah.
And they don't use any soy products. It's really good, but it's hard to deconstruct the food and figure out what.
Well, it would be a lot easier for Joyce to be a vegetarian if they figure out a way to replace the sodium with something that isn't freaking sodium. You know that.
Well, I'm not sure about Joyce, but my sister is an ethical vegetarian, which means no leather. You know, no anything that would no cosmetics, nothing that would have anything to do with harm of animals.
I prefer unethical vegetarians. You know, I will not eat meat, but I will kill people. You know, like I'll rape, but you know, I'm not going to have a burger. So
well, then there's always Soylent Green. You know.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, we're anything but Soylent on this episode.
David, that was perfect.
What are we on? I think we're only on the second question. The third question.
We are. Yeah.
You're on question number 2.
I actually wrote all these questions in less time than it's taking to do the quiz here, but that's great. We're here with Vicky Quaggy, Ronald Rand, and Leslie Hoban Blake playing the Today Yesterday quiz on the 868th episode of Dave's Gone By live this October 15th, 2022. And I do believe it's Shmini Atzeret, isn't it? I have no idea. Well, we're close to Simchas Torah.
Sing your song.
Rabbi Sal's not. I don't have the voice to bring.
Did you have a guest this morning?
No guest. It's just you guys. So, Ronald, you have 2 points. You are tied for the lead with Vicky.
Okay.
You can get, 2 more points if you get this question correct. All right.
Oh boy.
But it is not a multiple choice. It is a fill-in answer kind of a thing. Okay.
Okay.
The year was 1888. Happy 44th birthday, Friedrich Nietzsche. Happy 44th birthday, Friedrich Nietzsche. The philosopher celebrates this event by publishing his autobiography. He took the title from the 2-word Latin phrase allegedly uttered by Pontius Pilate when displaying a scourged Jesus Christ to an angry mob. Name that, of course, Vicky knows it. Name that book.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Slowly, David.
I know, it's a mouthful.
So obviously he said something and he wants to make that the title of his book. My goodness. Gosh, I honestly wasn't there, so I can't remember.
Well, you weren't even there for Nietzsche. I don't know what you
it happened so quickly. It just right past me. Yeah. And my goodness. And the mob was too loud too. You couldn't hear a thing.
The microphone wasn't working.
That's
Oh.
God. Wow. What would he have said? Oh God, I remember reading this because I read a lot about that particular thing. But oh my goodness, your mind is so full of so many facts, it just goes right over your head. Can you say that?
Yeah, so it's a wordy question.
Yeah.
So happy 44th birthday in 1888 to Friedrich Nietzsche. The philosopher celebrates this event by publishing his autobiography, October 15th, 1888. He took the title from a 2-word Latin phrase allegedly uttered by Pontius Pilate when displaying a scourged Jesus Christ to an angry mob. Name that book.
Wow. Gosh, I know that I read that, but it's not coming to me. God. Wow, that's amazing. And it's 2 words, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I just go with the Christ. I mean, Christus or something like that.
Ooh.
So going with
literary.
Christus. Here we go. Did you final answer?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, that's wrong. That is not the correct answer. So we're going to Rolling. By the way, Ron, I'm none of my business for asking, but I'm kind of curious. Are you Landsman or are you? How are you raised? What religion?
Oh, lots of different religions. I spent a lot of time, and I just wanted to. I traveled from so many places growing up that I spent time in temples and mosques and churches. So I got to know a lot of interesting folks. So
do you identify anything?
I'm very spiritual now, and that's why when I go to, I mean, I've been to 26 countries. I spend a lot of time in mosques and temples and churches and
synagogues too, I hope. Or no?
Yeah, oh yeah, and you know, God's everywhere, so it's just so inspiring.
Yeah. At this point in my life, I'm wondering if he's nowhere. But that's a question for another day.
Well, I have a lot of countries more to go to, so I'll be spending a lot of places on high spiritual levels. Yes,
I hope so.
Yeah.
Vicky, I just rolled a number 1. So you get to try and answer.
Zero idea. Zero.
Oh.
I'm trying to think, what did Pontius Pilate say? I mean, something like your savior, or I don't know it in Latin. I don't know what he would have said in Latin. But I think he mocked Jesus. But, what the phrase was, I don't remember. So I don't know. Your
discomfort.
And your website is, Leslie? Or what were you going to say? I'm not Leslie. I'm Vicky. What you were So if you don't,
we can do that later. It's okay.
All right, fine. So you're just going to pass. Or what did you say?
No. I said your savior, but not.
Your savior.
That's not it.
Well, that would have been a good save, but no, it is not. I'm afraid. So Vicky, Leslie, you can see how tired
I kept coming up with the 3, like Thus Spoke Zarathustra and Man and Superman, but I think it's Ecce Homo, isn't it?
What was that again?
Ecce Homo.
Is that your?
Well, that's the Latin. Behold the man. I believe that was the phrase, but in Latin. I'm not sure if that's the name of the book. That's the only phrase I can think of in 2 words.
All right, but so you're going to say that's your final answer then? Is that true?
Yeah, that's the only one. Yeah, I threw out the 3 word one.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Well, I've known a few icky homos myself, but yes, that is in fact the correct answer. Is Ecce Homo? Behold, it was showing Jesus was whipped and whatever, and flayed, and he said, "Yeah, here's your guy."
There was a wonderful bread called Ecce Panis. It was a real bread store called Ecce Panis, meaning "behold the bread." I love.
Well, I've seen some icky penises too. Well, anyway, I don't even know what that means. I really don't know what that means.
And you've alienated so many people by saying it. So
I do
knowing what it means.
But everybody should stay tuned. You know why? Because we have a 3-way tie.
Right.
So far, after the first round of our today.
Was everybody intending to leave?
No,
Mass exodus. Mass exodus after that.
Well, that's the wrong testament, let's say. We've jumped one testament backward.
Exodus.
Vicky, Leslie, and Ron all have 2 points going into round 2, the second and final round, and then we'll have a tiebreaker. Yeah. If we need one, or even if we don't need one. But now the questions get weirder. Of course they do. So, ladies and gentlemen, we begin again with Vicky. And Vicky, your question, I'm going to ask you to change 1 letter.
Okay, let me get my pen. All right.
There we go.
Okay.
When you're ready. And what it means is that you can give me 2 answers, 1 point each.
Okay.
And there's the original word, and then you change 1 letter, and it's a different word.
Okay, Dr. Sue.
And I give you a poem.
Okay.
Of course, Angela Lansbury's career was vital. It's one reason they gave her this title. Change 1 letter if you dare, and you'll have yourself a moderate swear.
Moderate swear.
Say it again. Do it slow.
Yeah, no, I get it. Angela Lansbury, what her title was, I don't know, Queen of Broadway or something like that. So moderate swear, I don't know. I know Leslie probably knows this.
She's smiling.
Leslie's going to get 2 points.
Either you get it or you don't. It's either hit or miss.
Yeah, that's it. You get it or you don't. She was the... Moderate swear. Moderate swear. Geez, I read all the obits on her, and I remember she was called whatever. She was so wonderful too. And now all the murders stop in Cabot Cove. You know.
They get away with everything. Yeah.
Finally, you know.
And the food tastes so much better in London now. It's incredible. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not even going to guess because in her honor, I don't want to guess wrong. So let someone else get it.
All right. Okay. Well, looks like at least Leslie has a good idea of what it is. And guess what? I just rolled a 6. So Leslie,
come on, Leslie, do it.
Let me read the
Dame and Dan.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's what I got too. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I have seen since Mame, I believe I saw every single play that she was ever in, whether it was a musical or a straight play.
Okay.
And Mame was something, you know, in the 60s. I mean, I was buying tickets for $5 a piece in those days, you know,
right.
Or maybe a little bit more. And my brother and I just had this conversation because I remember taking my son to see something. And my brother said, no, you took me to see that. And I'm going like, I'm so confused. I don't know who I took to see it. But even things like Blythe's Spirit and...
Right. She was right. She came on riding a bicycle. And she was 88 years old.
The Best Man, which was, I believe, the last thing that she did was The Best Man.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Played the Hedda Hopper kind of character. So she was just incredible on stage. She was such a presence. Not to mention her movies and Manchurian Candidate, which just knocked me over. And I've never seen anything quite as good as that in that kind of character as that particular performance.
She was great. She was so and of course Joyce. That's like her favorite actress of all time because she loves Murder, She Wrote. So and I also love Sweeney Todd.
I like when she sang "I'm Only a Bird in a Gilded Cage." That was early.
Yes, that was in Gaslight. Wasn't that in Gaslight?
Yeah.
And they brought it back, and she did it again. I think she sang it on Murder, She Wrote, or not, or no, or
I don't know.
no. She said "Goodbye, Little Yellow Bird" is what she sang on.
Oh yes, you're right. It was "Goodbye, Little Yellow Bird." Yes.
And then she did the Mary Poppins film.
Yes.
She had that role at the end of it. Just darling.
That was in the remake. She played the remake. Feed the Birds. Yeah.
Oh, was that Manuel Noriega? Was that the one that they did, or no, the other one?
With Lin-Manuel Noriega. That was.
Exactly.
Anyway, Leslie, you are, as is happening more and more often now, you are in the lead with 4 points.
Oh, you know, he gets this in his head. He used to do that with David too. I'm not always. Vicky, you won the last game, did you not?
No, the other guy did.
The other guy.
Oh, it's almost a
Robert
tie.
Biagas. Robert Biagas.
Right. Yeah. So, but here's the deal. We have a couple more questions. And
it's not the winning, Leslie. It's the play.
It's the way we.
Yeah, right.
So.
I get up at this hour on a Saturday morning just for the playing of the game, right?
But Leslie, here's the deal. You can really take a commanding lead. You have a lead now, but take a commanding lead because this next question goes directly to you.
Okay.
And guess what, Leslie?
It's going to be fucking 3 clues in the news.
Yes, it is. Yes, in fact, it is.
I'm surprised he won't take away points when I don't get this one. Go ahead.
We'll help you.
These are 3 words.
We're rooting for you. Yeah.
I don't have to even explain this one. It's going to be like 3 words not connected to each other, but they're all connected individually to another word.
Wow.
It has something to do with the news.
Right. Yeah. All right, here's the deal. Now, the 3 clues in the news are court, decree, gay.
Gay.
Hang on a second. Is that C-O-U-R-T or C-O-R-T?
C-O-U-R-T.
Okay.
Gay.
Give me a second, please.
Of course.
Wow.
Say them again.
I will. The 3 clues are court, decree,
or decree,
gay.
Oh, and something in the news, obviously.
Right.
Well, obviously, yes, but oh, I got it.
It's your question, Liz. So it's court, decree, gay.
I think the word is divorce.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's gay divorcee, but I mean, divorce decree and divorce court and gay divorcee. And I guess it would have to do with Tom Brady or something.
Bing, bang, boom. You even got the reason. Yes.
Excellent.
Do I get an extra point for getting a reason?
No.
You don't need an extra, but you already got 6. Don't beg.
You've already won. You've won, okay?
Actually, Leslie just did win the game. She actually did.
Yeah.
And was the Fred Astaire film, was it gay divorcee or was it gay divorce? It was
it's gay divorcee with an accent.
Yeah.
But the play was gay divorce, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't have the accent. They put the extra E on the end to make sure that you knew that it was a divorcee.
But I think Vicky's also right that Fred Astaire's last Broadway show is Gay Divorce, which they made a movie, but yes, it was Divorce Court and Divorce Decree, and Tom and Giselle apparently.
Again, those things. I was sitting there going, I don't know this. Boom, divorce. It just like that, you know. No way to.
And it happened in a split second.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
So, Leslie, you own all the community property of this game, but we're going to do some more.
Can I have Boardwalk? Do I have Boardwalk?
Well,
you got it, obviously.
Doesn't Ron get his question, though?
Yes, of course he does. But the thing is, congratulations, Leslie. You are having an insurmountable lead. Congrats.
Unless the question, of course, is worth 4 points. See, that's
right. Then it'll be a true tie.
But I know it's not. Yeah.
But this one, Ron, does go directly to you, so you can come in second. You know, we have a tie for second place.
Okay.
So the year was 1932.
32.
It's the inaugural day for Tata Airlines, named after its founder, J.R.D. Tata, who flew the first flight on a British-made single-engine de Havilland Puss Moth airplane.
I believe you've made this all up.
Oh, I swear. Oh, right.
Is this true or false? No. Believe it or not, Tata Airlines is still around today, but since 1946, it's gone under what name?
Gosh. Sounds like something that probably moved to India, so I'll have to say Air India.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Oh, good. I get to do some racist comedy. Oh, yes, that would be very good indeed. You are correct, sir. It is India Air. Yes, it is India Air India.
How did you know that?
How did you?
Well, I've crisscrossed India 5 times on tours with my show, so I've been to so many cities, and I've come across Tata, you know, in my readings. And everything. That's what happens when you read so much about India, and I love it. It's like a second.
I would have guessed India also, but you know that there's a wonderful little new museum on 23rd Street in Manhattan. It's a tiny little place. I mean, it's got two floors. It's called the Poster Museum, and they're doing an exhibition on one whole floor, the downstairs floor, of all the Air India posters.
Oh.
Used to have a little Raja character with a big drooping mustache.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I mean, I don't remember any of these things. They were mostly from the 50s. And they would have him in paintings by famous people. You know, he'd be sitting in a Toulouse-Lautrec painting, or they would. It's an amazing exhibit. You can go online and see some of these things. The stuff that people will come up with, you know, it's amazing. Sure. But I never heard the word Tata. In all of that, I never heard the word
based
Tata.
on this Indian JRD, or like this long Indian name, JRD Tata. I wonder when the plane leaves the airport, does everybody just wave Tata? You know?
Tata, yeah. Well, when you're sitting on the Air India and they have the booklets about Air India, you sort of read the history too.
Right.
And I'm sure I'm
sure it's at the museum too. I just didn't remember reading that.
Yeah.
And of course,
but I used the same thing you did. Like, where would that name be? And it would have to be India, I thought. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Ron. You have officially come in second. Vicky has 2 points, so nobody goes away scoreless. Everybody gets the home game, but we still have time for the.
I'd love to see a copy of the home game of this show. I would love to see that. There would be like 9 billion questions.
Exactly. At least. Yeah.
But there's a twister component in that one. You lie down on the floor and twist, like, you know.
You don't think there's a twister component in this one?
Obviously, someplace. Yeah.
So here's the deal. We still have a tiebreaker. We have one more question for you.
Okay. All right.
And you will need your pens and papers. It's the usual thing, so you're not going to answer directly. Each of you is going to hold your answer.
Sure.
I'm going to give a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Excuse me. It is another, fill in the blank. 1926 was the year. Born today in West Central France is this Born today in West Central France is this philosopher whose books include Madness and Civilization, Discipline and Punish, and his 4-volume History of Sexuality. Name this writer who furthered the idea of Jeremy Bentham's panopticon as an all-seeing, surveilling eye. Leslie looking rather confident. I think Vicky also. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. We may have a three-bagger on this one. Let me know when you've all finished your writings. I'll read the question again.
And read it one more time.
Yeah, sure. Oh, do you want me? I'll read it one more time before you shout. Then.
Yeah.
The year was 1926. Born today in West Central France is this philosopher whose books include Madness and Civilization, Discipline and Punish, and his 4-volume History of Sexuality. Name that writer who furthered the idea of Jeremy Bentham's panopticon as an all-seeing, surveilling eye.
Nice, clear eyeball there.
That's really good there. Yeah, that works.
Nice and clear. No.
Well, thank you. Someone said I looked high when I was doing my 20th anniversary show. I'm like, I've never taken drugs in my life, and I look high. I was just literally, spiritually, morally, and ethically.
Not even a little something, nothing.
Well, I look like I was bleary. I could barely keep my eyes. It was 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, I've just been grading 80 papers. It's like, of course I look high. If I have to grade 80 of these kinds of papers, I should be high doing
David.
Yeah?
David, the trick is you give less homework. That's the thing. You don't have to grade so many papers.
I got to revise my syllabus next year. There's no question about that. And it's like, just one paper at the end of the year. That's the time.
Try having them grade each other's papers.
I can, yeah. And then they'll give each other A's. Yeah, good luck. Thank you.
No.
It's not your generation anymore. Maybe it is. So are you guys thinking?
Just do 3, 2, 1.
You've written something.
Yeah.
All right, read it again. Born today in West Central France is this philosopher who wrote Madness and Civilization, Discipline and Punish, and the History of Sexuality. Name that writer who furthered the idea of Jeremy Bentham's panopticon as an all-seeing, surveilling eye. 3, 2, 1.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
And I see Kinsey and I see Jean-Paul Sartre, which is probably the closest. But the answer is, wait, I'm going to give you all a hint.
Yeah. Metronome.
Clock, alarm clock, grandfather clock.
Not of you.
Pendulum. I don't know what that means. Yeah, but I don't know anybody named pendulum.
Somebody pendulum. I don't know. What is it?
The answer is, Joyce, do you want to take this one? Because you got this like immediately or when we were...
You say it.
Okay. The answer is, the philosopher is Michel Foucault.
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
right.
yes.
I wouldn't have gotten that. I'm not a big philosopher person. I kept thinking, I'm not even sure if Sartre wasn't older than that. If he wasn't born in the 19-teens, I don't even know.
Yeah. So I read that guy's works. Yeah.
So anyway, it was Michelle. Nobody got the tiebreaker, but we didn't need it because Leslie Hope and Blake.
So much for your tiebreaker. I take your tiebreaker and I spit on it.
Oh, we need David Stewart with the accents for this. It's like, you start doing, it's like, oh no, this
owns it. Yes.
I can do that. I can speak French.
Everybody look right at your thing. I'm going to take a picture. Everybody looks. I send this to. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'll do a couple.
Vicky sends it to people in prison.
Not surprised.
No. They need it.
I appreciate it.
She writes some inmates. She sends them photos.
All right, can I stop smiling? Because
I got at least one.
Okay.
Dave, how did that person find me through you?
My guess is
somebody, whatever his name is.
There was somebody who was trying to contact Leslie and Charlie, who co-host a show called Two on the Aisle.
Oh, nice.
And I guess they found you on my show.
Yes, on Facebook.
No, they found us. They're aggregating the reviews for Slave Play.
Oh.
They're doing a documentary on the reviews of Slave Play.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Okay.
It was an odd thing. And Charlie and I used to do something called First Impressions, which I never liked, because it meant coming out of the theater and immediately saying what you thought. And I like to think a little bit. I don't like to do that immediately.
Oh, I hate thinking. Yeah.
And not only that, but it was winter and I was wearing earmuffs literally that were the size of 2 hamburgers. And I had a cap on.
Well, they were vegan hamburgers, so they were really
Exactly. Yes, and
And
they
it was
tasted
before
good.
the mask, but you still couldn't see my face because it was covered by earmuffs. And I don't want that to be seen on anything. So I sent him back a note. I checked with Charlie and I said, look, we reviewed this show 3 times. I said, that was a first impression. I do not want that to be the one that we use. But you're welcome to choose something. But I want to see what you choose because I think 2 white people reviewing Slave Play is a minefield. And I don't want to be taken out of context. I don't mind them taking what we said as long as it's, in context of what we said, not to prove some other kind of point.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard back.
Okay.
No, but also if they were writing a book about it or something, you would have no real say in the matter.
Yes, but the point was he said they were only going to use a tiny piece. He was very specific about
Oh, I could use a tiny piece anytime.
There's no creative control. Yeah.
There's no. Well, the document they do, I think, need permission. They will actually.
Yeah, no. They can't do it without our. Well, they could. I mean, of course they could. Anybody can do anything, but I'd be looking for this thing to sue them, if it came down.
No, but I don't know. I mean, if you post this publicly on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, do they really?
It was actually posted on YouTube. The first impressions went straight to YouTube.
Right. So I honestly don't know if YouTube has who has the copyright on that, if there is one, or if it's on YouTube, it's fair play. I don't.
You know what? Most times you don't have to.
Yeah.
But they were kind enough to ask. And I just don't really want to be seen. I look like a walrus or something, some weird animal.
Well, all right. Well, anyway, congratulations, Leslie. The show that you're talking about, not the First Impressions one, but the regular show is called Two on the Aisle, which I'm assuming you're going to the theater again now. So are you posting?
Well, we're getting together. We did a Leopoldstadt review, but I think we want to do it over again. I don't. When I played it back, there were some odd noises on it that were not coming from either one of us. So I don't know.
Did you have that bean turkey dinner again?
Yeah, right. So tomorrow morning, Charlie and I are going to do, or tonight we're going to do that, and maybe we can also do, because we've seen everything up to now so far. We've seen Death of a Salesman, 1776, Cost of Living, and Leopoldstadt, which are the 4 big shows.
I wanted to see Leopoldstadt. They couldn't rustle up tickets for me this weekend. I wanted to see that one.
How long did it take you to drive up?
Oh, it's a 4-hour and 20-minute trip with a quick pit stop for a little bit quick food and pee.
Do the pit stop.
Yeah, I say pit stop, but what I mean is, so it's not. I mean, it's between Amtrak and the LIRR and getting from BWI to Maryland and the time and the way, it is actually for 2 people is actually worth it to take a friggin' car.
Uber?
Not a car service, but an Uber-like car service to do it most of the time. It's just, we found one good one. It's ridiculously expensive, but when you compare the time and money you would do,
But less than all of the other stuff,
yeah,
right? I get it. I
one person
understand.
is not worth it. For two, it seriously is. But Les, I want to ask you before I let you guys go, all of you. What did you think of cost of living? Which won the Pulitzer Prize? We're going to talk about it a little bit.
I was amazed at how much I had forgotten about it. The one thing that I remembered was the woman in the bathtub thing.
Yeah.
Also, David Zayas is an old. Oops! Wait a minute. That's an alarm. You're going to hear music in the background. Sorry about that.
Nice. I
could yell at Alexa, but she doesn't stop when I want her to.
Hi, Alexa. Don't you know?
Anyway,
she's in charge. Yeah.
There's quiet over there.
I don't know why I have an 11 o'clock alarm. I didn't set it.
Alexa, STFU. All right. Yeah.
It's James Taylor. It's good stuff.
Gets better.
Yeah, we got to knock it down, or else we're going to get thrown off Facebook. Yeah,
stop.
good. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I've been screaming at her. I'm amazed that they haven't sent somebody up from the front desk to see if I'm all right and not having a stroke. Anyway, so David Zayas is someone that I interviewed years ago with his wife from the Labyrinth Company. His wife is Liza Colon Zayas, and I dubbed them the Latina London
Fontaine. So, right.
And they are just incredible. David is so wonderful in this. He has, but they all are. And I didn't get to go backstage to see David because I was with somebody. But when I came out of 1776, walking down 42nd Street,
43rd.
No. When I came out of Leopoldstadt on 48th Street, they were going to a restaurant around the corner from Cost of Living on 47th. So I got to stop and talk to David for a couple of minutes and tell everybody in the cast how wonderful I thought they were. And I did think they were wonderful. I mean, my companion did not think that a couple of them were very good actors, he said. And I thought, screw you, because I think he's desperate. I think he's very wrong. And I thought that everyone was really great.
Right? Everybody's a critic.
Well, did you go with a critic companion or just a friend?
No, a friend, not a critic. No.
Yeah.
And he's a Brit, and he can't wait till we get out of the theater before he tells me what he thinks of anything.
Oh.
And I listen. I don't respond because I haven't had time to think about it. But at that point I said, no, you're wrong. I said, I thought everybody was great. I don't remember who did it originally. The two handicapped or other abled or whatever word you want to use, people were the same. The two caretakers were different.
Oh, interesting. This so Zayas wasn't in it. No, I really liked him quite a lot. So yeah. Anyway, just wanted to hear your thoughts on that, Leslie. You and Charlie will be posting their reviews on YouTube, and then at some point soon you'll also have a new episode of Two on the Island.
Be wearing those earmuffs.
Yeah, you have to like.
Well, you have to go look up slave play first.
No, listen. Next, when
I don't want it to be seen, and you have to do a little work to find that. I don't like it.
Well, no, I'm just saying next time we do I don't know if I'll be doing Dave's Gone By next week, but next time we do one, you've got to come on wearing the and Vicky will take a picture.
So I'll be gone for the weekend. I'll be gone for the weekend of November 4th and 5th. I'm going up to New Haven. I'm thinking about resettling in New Haven at some point in the next couple of years. I think New Haven is the closest thing to New York I'm going to find that's near my kids and near New York. If I'm still able to travel to the theater, which I'm not sure.
Will you schlep to? I mean, once you're in New Haven, Connecticut, will you start feeling like, fuck it?
I already feel that way because I've had to walk home from it doesn't sound like much to anybody else, but for me to have to walk home because I can't get a cab and to walk through the I was going to say terrorists, I meant tourists, but I almost said terrorists because that's how I feel. They crowd the sidewalks. They don't care about anything, and it makes me crazy. So I'm not happy about that part of the trip now. Going to
even living 5 blocks.
Even living right here, exactly.
Yeah. So.
But yes, my plan was to come in and do what you're doing. I would come in for a 3-day weekend and see 4 plays. That was my plan. But I don't know if I'm going to have the stamina to do it.
Yeah. So, my plan is really to come in to the city and see someone to do 4-play with. Joyce is not thrilled with that idea, but. She got a look on her face. Okay. Ronald Rand.
I no longer have words to give back to you on these things. All I can do is make faces. I feel like a living emoji. When it comes to
Yes, exactly.
Well, so Ronald Rand, let
Yes.
me ask you, sir. What's happening with Clermont? What's happening with the opera about its?
Well, I've got a lot of things in the iron, and solo transformation on stage. My new book
Oh, yeah.
is certainly selling, doing really well, and I just had a birthday, so I had a lot of celebrations.
Happy birthday.
So I just keep getting younger. That's all. I don't do numbers, so it doesn't
Absolutely.
really matter.
No, but mazel tov. Congratulations. Can I ask, or is it that don't tell age?
Not nice. Don't ask.
Well, I don't even do numbers, so it doesn't matter. I just get younger. Yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
all. When they ask me how old I am in classes I teach, I tell the students at least 3 million years because that's our DNA. It always works.
Pleistocene at this. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is good.
Tell them
Well,
in goldfish years. Tell them in goldfish years. Don't.
so and let us remind people, Solo Transformations on Stage is Ronald Rand's book about doing solo monologues in the theater, and you can get it at the drama bookshop. You can get it at all places that
Amazon, and it's also about transformation that we go through every single day. And I have a lot of insights, plus a whole chapter of some of the greatest solo performers who have performed on the stage. People like Christopher Plummer and Eve Ensler, and a lot of wonderful people, Steve Lang, a lot of great folks. And it's so important that we also gain strength from those who come before us. So I have a lot of insights from other performers like Julie Harris and Dale Orlando Smith, and people that really have just changed the face of theater.
So, and we gain strength from those who come before us. That essentially makes us vampires, if you think about that. But kind of, I know that joke sucked. But Vicky Quaddy, what should we do the rest of this weekend? Are you doing Holy Ghost Bingo tonight, or what's your?
No, I'm going. I was going. I had to give it up tonight and I switched over to doing it tomorrow. I'm going to see Murder on the Orient Express out in Oak Brook at the theater there.
Oh wow! Okay.
I've never seen that live as a play. I've only seen it as a movie.
Yeah, I'm curious. It's a matinee at 3:00, and I didn't think I could get back from Oak Brook to do the show if I got caught in traffic. So I thought no. So I switched it with one of my other actors.
That is amazing. You're in a position where you will choose to see theater rather than perform. I can't imagine that.
I do like to perform. Okay, smile again because I want to make sure I got a better picture. All right, everybody smile.
Leslie, put on your earmuffs.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, that should be good.
That should be a good one. Guys, thank you ever so much. As I said, I'm not sure if I'll be doing a Dave's Gone By next week. I'm just rather overloaded at the moment. I might not. If I do, I hope to see some of your faces, if not all. I wish you all a very, very healthy and great week.
Right?
Leslie, the queen of trivia this week.
Yeah, she won.
The dame of the show.
Yes. The damn dame. I'm the damn dame. That's what I am.
Exactly.
The damn dame of the trivia game. Guys, see you all
See you soon.
Bye-bye. Have a wonderful week. Good Simcha Torah to you all, too.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, one more.
Wow.
One more. It's me. Bye.
Bye.
Leslie won a lot.
Leslie, yeah. Well, David Stewart hasn't been here for a month.
I don't know if he comes back and he reclaims his title. It's going to be tough.
He'll be a little rusty. It's very possible. He might just rust a little, but rust never sleeps. I just felt young when I said that. Ha! I'm Dave Lefkowitz. You're watching Dave's Gone By, our 868th edition of the program. And we're calling this one for no real good reason. I hope this will mean something in the months and maybe a couple of years ahead. I have no title for this show, but I was surfing the web in the 1 minute when I'm not grading, and I came across this adorable creature, an aquatic creature.
Say the name.
And it's called, let me tell you, it's not a frog, and it's not a salamander. It's something that's sort of a cross between one and the other. So it's a salamander that should become a frog, and kind of does, but kind of doesn't. So it keeps like some of the fins that frogs shake off when they become frogs. And I know all this because years ago we had the guy from Grow a Frog on the show. And Joyce and I, our first pets, before we even got dogs, we got a couple of Grow a Frogs. And they're African claw frogs.
Here's a video.
They're completely aquatic. So they're not like the frogs you think on lily pads and stuff. They literally, they're like fish-like frogs. And when you get them, when they send them to you in the mail, they come in like salamander thing. Little baby tadpoles. And then at a certain point, they grow a little more. And then they lose like vestigial limbs. And they keep growing and they become frogs. And you have to change their food, and the water kind of stays the same. You put in different crap, and you feed them different stuff. But, and they're supposed to live like a year or two. And what we have, they lived for like a decade. It was insane. They didn't die until we literally moved to Colorado, gave the frogs to my aunt to bring to her classroom. They lived another year or so in classroom, and then they finally dropped dead over the summer.
Yeah,
but I mean,
amazing.
It was wonderful. So we're not going to talk about African claw frogs or salamanders, but there's this species. There's this thing called an axolotl. Let's see if I can make it big. I can't. I can't do this. Wait, how do I show this video and make it large?
Yeah.
I think I got it.
Okay.
So I've got to unplug this just to do this.
Yeah,
so here's a little baby one. They call it the Mexican walking fish.
Oh.
And it's not really doing any walk. Oh, there we go. Look at the little gills. Look at the little things. So here he is in the sort of salamanderish form.
Are they legal?
You can buy them. You can buy them by mail, but I don't think they have them in local aquariums. How do I set up an axolotl tank?
Did I send you this, or did you find it?
I think I found it, and then you refound it, because it's probably the first video that comes up on Google when you look for axolotls. Sorry about the shaky whatever. I want to get to the point where they become more frog-like. Let me move it further along here. So it's playing. Here we go. And it still sort of looks like a... Come on. No, I can't. Let's slide this over a little bit more. Now look. Now it's going to become an axolotl. There it is!
Oh.
Look at that. That is a real fish frog thing. Isn't that the most wonderful? That's fish. I guess you can have it in other aquarium situations. You're supposed to have one alone in a 20-gallon tank. It's got to be minimum 20 gallons.
Why so big? Why 20 gallons?
That's what they say.
Swim?
It's happy in a 20-gallon tank. There he is. So he looks a little like a catfish. See,
that's not a 20-gallon tank, would you say?
At least it's at least a 10. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Check out my new something. So at some point, not yet. Now, once we're settled in, we have a little bit of extra money.
Maybe what you could do is give the winning guest one of these.
An axolotl.
Yeah.
Well, they range. They range about $30-$40. Plus, we got to get the tank and all their stuff to for special leucocid albinism axolotl. It's like $150. And the amazing thing is they all have names like various cancers. I don't know why, but that's the names like leukocyte axolotl and malignosa axolotl. I'm like, why? But they are the cutest things. Because they're like frogs they're peacock-like frogs, and I love them. So we're calling this a little axolotl as opposed to a lot of axolotl for no reason. I didn't get an axolotl. Someday I want to have and raise and hold and cuddle an axolotl, but not yet. Soon enough, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, yeah. We are about 13 minutes after the hour in the third hour of Dave's Gone By this Saturday morning. Remember that you can write to me, davesgoneby@aol.com, davesgoneby@aol.com, or just post messages to me right here on the Facebook page or instant, direct message me. You can do that for friends.
Earmuffs first.
Yeah, it would be helpful if you have those noise-canceling headphones and earmuffs while you're doing that. So let's do a little bit of Gritty Crimes and Old Times. Oh, and I also want to talk about cost of living. What's that? Oh, you need the noisy things. Oh. Well, that one works. Excellent. So, Grilly Crimes in Old Times. Yeah. Is a segment that we do based on stories in a real newspaper in Greeley, Colorado, in northern Colorado. There are two comical, intentionally funny items that they put once a week in that newspaper. One, and they're both true. One is based on phone calls that come into the local police department complaining about things happening in the neighborhood. And the other is our friend Mike Peters going through the newspapers 100 years ago and plucking out the items that to modern eyes are a little funny or just nostalgic or just shocking. We mix them up and we call it Grilly Crimes in Old Times. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Da-da-da-da. So Grilly Crimes in Old Times, we're doing it this Saturday morning. Are you ready, dear? Are you ready for some criminality? These are public record. These are actual phone calls that come in to, or, oh dear. Like I've come into the police department in northern Colorado. This is what people are actually asking the police to look into. Oh, so this is, and it's interesting they always put the less scary thing first. A caller on 11th Avenue, excuse me, said a group of men threw a bag of rocks and pulled a gun on him after he got off the bus. So it's like, oh yeah, they threw a bag of rocks. Oh, and by the way, they also pulled a gun on me. It was like,
you should really get a more direct transfer. That's
Yeah, it doesn't say whether they maybe had an altercation of some sort, or if one of the men said, 65, por favor. A man on the Pooter Trail said, two men listening to music stepped in front of him while he was riding his bike. Once they realized he wasn't a woman, they backed off. Circling back to check on... Oh, no, sorry. So it's sort of like they saw him riding along. Maybe I had a hat on or something, long hair. And they kind of left him alone when they realized it was a him. Wow. I would not want to be a girl riding on a bike in that neighborhood, I guess.
That's not good.
Yeah. Anyway. A caller near 5th Street said that a man left his grocery bags on the corner and kept circling back to check on the bags and then leaving.
I think that's called Instacart. Isn't that Instacart?
I don't know. I never trust my grocery bags alone. I don't know what trouble they get into.
When you order them and they deliver them and then you go bye-bye. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the premise of...
No, but the idea of, like, they left him on the corner. And kept maybe you're right. Maybe the Instacart didn't want to go up to the guy's stoop because they saw a dog.
Maybe they weren't of age, and he,
Oh.
But usually, like in Instacart, I'm just looking for the nail clipper, David. In Instacart, you have to leave instructions.
Yeah, right. Or you take a picture of the
person said, like, please leave my bags on the corner and circle to see if they,
Yeah. Please leave my bags on the corner of 48th and 8th.
I don't know what I did with
I'll come out of my apartment and get them shortly. What are you looking for? The nail clippers? I don't know. I just bought a new one.
I know. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God! I just bought it.
I know.
Edith.
I'm not Edith, honey.
Don't
call me daughter.
Oh well. If we hit Walgreens, I'll buy another one. That's why I buy so many of them. I love nail clippers. Okay. Almost as much as I love my nose hair trimmer. Yes. I left that back in Maryland. And I love potatoes love ketchup, so there we go.
I'm surprised you don't have a trimmer here, honey. Usually you have a trimmer.
I usually I probably have a one I didn't like and I left it here.
I found another pair of glasses and a flash drive.
Excellent. There you go.
Doing good today.
Yeah. So take what you need back, but leave what you might need here just in case you need it here.
I'm taking all of them back because if I lose my glasses, I cannot see.
That's fair enough. That would happen, yeah. So let's do some old times. These are items that were in the newspapers 100 years ago.
Here's your bad substitute.
Thank you. Yeah, I never like that. No offense to the makers of these, but they just have nothing on a good Conair nose hair trimmer. Nothing. And ear, too. Oh, it's so sad. I've got a little stalk in my ear right here. I would love to just love to zip. Oh, it feels so good. I love that. Love it! All right, old times, ladies and gentlemen. We begin with a chicken alert. Chicken alert. That is when we have a story about a chicken. So 100 years ago, when he saw two men stealing chickens from his neighbor's hen house last night, it doesn't say who, he took some shots at them.
Oh, no.
He thinks he hit one man
Oh, no.
because he heard him swear. Then they got away with 10 chickens. A block away, the 10 dead chickens were found in a bag.
Oh.
How'd you like to be the person on the road, even in 1922, walking along, saying, "Oh, I wonder what's in that bag," and you open it up, it's like there's 10 dead chickens in it.
That's really sad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's
Yeah.
very sad.
Here's another old-timey thing: 100 carloads of cabbage.
100 carloads of cabbage.
If one of those cabbages, rotted even worse. Well, they rotted in storage this week because Union Pacific Railroad didn't send refrigerated cars to haul them to the customers.
Cabbage has to be refrigerated.
You would think, I don't know. I guess if you're rolling along in a truck and it gets like 90 degrees for hundreds of miles, I guess you want to kind of keep... Well, yeah, if we think about it, in the store, in the vegetable bins, they keep it kind of cool and wet and stuff coming down.
It's true.
Hon, you're not going to believe this. You are not going to believe this. As soon as you brought me the ketchup,
What happened?
it was time for a potato alert. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Potato alert, potato. Oh, no. There we go. Oh, potato alert, potato alert, potato alert.
I like it.
This is a story. Why is that right? Oh. Uh-oh. And there it goes. Ah.
Is it magnetic?
You are getting
What do
potato.
you have stuck to it?
It really, look at this. I wonder, like, what else might stick to this thing? No, maybe not that. My spoon? No, nothing. Anyway, potato alert. This is a story from 100 years ago in the newspapers about potatoes. Two Loveland men, both of them 27 years old, are in the Weld County Jail charged with the theft of 18 sacks of potatoes from a local farm.
Uh-oh.
The sheriff also has their pickup truck, which has a tent set up in the back. The sheriff said it will make an excellent campaign wagon for himself and other candidates. So I guess they had these hobos come to town, with, sleeping in their car in the tent,
Making potato
and
stew?
stealing, a really valuable... back in the day, back in 1922, was it like, 8 cents for 30 pounds of potatoes or something? I mean, of all the things to steal. Unless they just meant to cook and eat them and roast them on the road.
Maybe they were going to make it for friends. I'm so sorry. I feel bad about your...
Leave it for after the show's done. You can find it then.
See if this will stick.
Oh, my
See
little
if this
octopus
See
friend.
if this will stick.
He's beautiful. Look at him.
Here's the appropriate thing to stick.
Always. Oh yes! Look at this. Since potatoes do love their ketchup. Let's see if this will stick to the flashlight. Weirdly enough, no. What is it about paper clips, man?
I don't know. That's creepster.
No, not working. Not happening. Oh well. All right, let's do one more old-timey thing. I have an aphorism for you. And I do apologize for those of you who are allergic to aphorisms, but it's quick.
I do have a mild aphorism allergy.
So back in the day, in newspapers they would put in not just news, but these cute little things for people to read and enjoy and remember. They say, remember that the opportunity of a lifetime must be grasped during the lifetime of an opportunity. Isn't that good? But it's not going to be in there. You put it in there.
And I'm getting other stuff. I don't like that, and I think that doesn't make sense.
Well, isn't it? The opportunity of a lifetime must be grasped during the lifetime of the opportunity. I rather like that.
It sounds like the Nike or some kind of slogan.
Maybe. All right, let's do one more criminality thing,
Okay.
and then we'll table this because I want to do talk briefly about the play I saw. Oh, can you go into my knapsack and grab a playbill? I forgot to take them out last night.
What do you need, honey?
The playbill that I.
Is there only one?
I think I grabbed 3 of them, so I just need one.
Show, yeah, and of course. Oh, here you go.
Thank you very much. I'll need that in a little bit. Oh, there's my what I drank last night. Oh, I got smashed on mash. Ridiculously expensive, but really, really tasty. Watermelon, lemon, lime, sparkling beverage. So
I never heard of it. What is it called?
no, I've never seen it before. Mash. And they have all these different flavors, and like, but there was a pomegranate one, but this is the one that really, I was like, let me try something. It was really good.
Mash.
So I'm gonna see if I can find it. Yeah, I wonder who the beverage company is. I'm sure it's bottled by Coca-Cola or some shit, but Boylan Bottling, I guess from Massachusetts. I guess from Massachusetts. Very nice.
Oh, they have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Sparkling fruit drink.
Mm-hmm.
Mash variety pack. Does it have caffeine? Caffeine
Not this.
free.
Yeah, no, why wouldn't it? And it's only
low essence, low calorie, sparkling water.
Yeah. Oh, it was more than sparkling. It tastes like a soda more than just sparkling water. Sparkling water, like, oh, we put 2 drops of flavor in it so you can drink it. I was like, what the fuck? I'm going to pay $3 for that.
David. Did you see all of them?
Well, they have a few in Penn Station where I got this. So I'm not going to buy another one because it's $4.50 damn dollars.
Pomegranate raspberry.
Yeah.
Ripe mango blood orange.
They had that
watermelon
one.
lemon lime.
That's this one.
Lemon peel ginger root. Grapefruit citrus zing. Pineapple coconut.
Ooh, that might be all right.
Yeah, that's great.
And they're carbonated. You know, they've got a little, and they're only 80 calories for 16 ounces, which is about 40 calories fewer or even more than a Snappler in Arizona. But anywho, let's finish up Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Let's get to a caller near Pope Farms. We know where that is. On 65th Avenue, reported seeing a possible police impersonator.
What?
Yes, a possible police impersonator. Meanwhile, oddly enough, a caller near Police Farms reported seeing a Pope impersonator.
Whoa.
It happens. Could have been Vicky.
Are they on 8th and 8th?
No, it's all the way up on 65th Avenue.
Wow.
And one more. A man on 1st Street complained that stray cats kept defecating in his yard and that he couldn't keep bending over to clean off his shoes. Now, we have deer poop in our yard now, right? And I see dog poop. Has anybody ever complained about cat poop in the yard? Do you even see cat poop in the yard?
The problem is the man didn't see it.
Well, I guess. And he walks barefoot. That's
not good. Why don't they get him slippers?
Or him.
Well, boots.
Well, the slippers, you still have to clean.
Yeah, but get boots or something.
What's the diff?
Get him like those Croc shoes that are plastic. He could just like hose them off.
You can hose them down.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of this before. Like people complain about cat poo in the yard. You figure you won't even see it. Don't cats? I mean, they make poo, but never occurred to me that cats would
investigate that a bit more.
Yeah. Poopies. He's got cats making poopies. They're all purple and goopy. No, I don't think they are.
The cats are sickly.
And that is Greeley Crimes and Old Times for this Saturday, October 15th, 2022.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
No, he was not.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it is almost 11:30 Eastern Time in the neighborhood. We're doing Dave's Gone By, our 868th edition, calling it A Little Axolotl. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. We still have a couple more things to do. We've got our Colorado Limerick of the Damned and our Friends of the neighborhood. But before then, I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking about theater inside Broadway. Inside Broadway, brought to you by Total Theater's Performing Arts Insider, your everything theater guide. Yes, inside Broadway we go, because I've been a theater critic for a bunch of years, a published playwright, a produced playwright, award-winning, an arts journalist. I used to run Playbill.com, so yeah, I've had a bit of a bit of a life in the theater, and I still do. As I told you at the beginning of the show, I'm in New York for like 2 days, and I'm still like, I gotta go see something. So I'm seeing 1776, the revival, this afternoon. And then last night, I said, you know what, it's a Pulitzer-winning play. Let me go see it. And it's supposed to be really, really good. Cost of Living, a drama by Martina Mayock that is being performed by Manhattan Theater Club at the Samuel L. Friedman Theater on Broadway over on West 47th Street. And this play, I believe it did win the Pulitzer Prize just a couple of years back. It was done off-Broadway, I'm guessing by MTC, which is why they're reviving it and giving it more of a chance of more people to see it. It is a 4-person play. As Leslie told us, the cast off-Broadway was 2 people different. Currently in it are David Zayas, Kara Young, Greg Mozgala, and Katie Sullivan. I'm theater people. There we go. So here's the deal. It is 2 parallel stories that ultimately, as they say, intersect in the very last scene. One story has to do with a guy who goes to this bar. He's an alcoholic, but he's sober. He's been sober for a long time. He's just having a spritzer, a seltzer spritzer. And he's come there to meet somebody that he doesn't even know who it's going to be, because he was married and the woman he was married to passed, but he had a relationship with her, the ups and downs of a relationship, but he still feels very, very close to her. And getting over the loneliness and the loss of her, they used to text each other all the time, just a kind of a how are you doing text to remind you that the other person's thinking about you, which is what, one of the main reasons that people lock themselves together for another person year after year after year. And then, of course, she dies, the text stops, but he still sends a text to be in that habit, to remember her and to feel like she's remembering him. And then one day, I'm not giving away the whole play, but one day, somebody texts back at that number.
From the grave.
And he doesn't, is it her? Or, it has time passed and therefore somebody else has now got that phone number. He doesn't know. He wants to find out who the hell is texting back, and now they're having conversations and stuff. So they make up a time to meet at this bar. And then throughout the rest of the show, we actually see the relationship he had with his wife. They were estranged. They were separating. He was seeing someone else. But she had gotten herself into a terrible car accident. Oddly enough, he was the drunk, but she's the one who got into the accident. And she lost, she was partially paralyzed and lost her legs. So he has become, to save money and stuff, and because he still has feelings of some level for her, and she for him, becomes her caretaker. So he, instead of her having to hire another nurse, he's the one who has to cook, bake, help, and sort of come over and deal with all her needs. Meanwhile, in a parallel story, there's a guy who, I guess he has, I don't ever remember them saying what he has, but it feels like CP, cerebral palsy or something like that. But mentally he's fine. He's actually a graduate student at an Ivy League college, but, he is literally like this. He speaks perfectly well. He obviously thinks perfectly well. And at a certain point in the show, he gets naked. So he's a good-looking young man. He's naked because she's got to bathe him.
See what he has.
It's called Cost of Living.
Okay, I'm going to see what they say.
And so he hires this woman who's also been a graduate student, but, she's having a hard time. She's working 2 or 3 jobs in local bars, just trying to make enough money. She comes to try and help him. She's desperate for the job, and he needs someone, but he's warning her. He's like, I'm difficult. You think it's just like, oh, okay, you make me a little food, you help me shower, and you shave me, because you can't really do that like this. But it's also, do you understand what it means when you're helping someone who is on some level helpless? It's like if you come too fast.
Cerebral palsy.
It is palsy. So if you come near me too quick, he goes into like this heart, and every joint in his body aches. And so she has to learn about him. He has to learn about her because he's kind of an asshole.
That's what they say,
privileged asshole. And so these are the parallel stories, scene by scene. We go back and forth to the man and his wife that he has to care for, and back and forth to this woman and this young guy that she has to care for. And is there a romance? blossoming on one level, and is there, a certain kind of rekindling of love that is blossoming in another way. And there's some very effective scenes, and the opening monologue had me. It's delivered by David.
Bayonne, New Jersey.
Yeah. And it's an urban kind of a story, because these are people, hard scrabble people. They're, except for the rich, guy with CP. These are people who are, two paychecks, if not paycheck to paycheck, one or two paychecks away from, and getting by, and barely getting by themselves, but having to care for others who have even more difficulty trying to get by. And the opening monologue about the guy in the texts and his wife, just absolutely beautifully delivered, gripping. I'm like, I am in this play. And as it's going on for me, it just felt more and more contrived. And I feel like, I like that Mayock doesn't write really on some level a tearjerker. It's not a melodramatic tearjerker thing that she's going for. She's trying to do a more human story between people and not come to like, Marvin's room, crying. She avoids that. But I also figured that the way that this is played out and how the two characters end up meeting each other, and thematically it all holds together.
3 Lortel Awards in 18.
In one Lortel.
Yeah. 3 in 18.
It's good playwriting. It's structured very well, and it's also got, the idea.
Nomination, a Drama Desk Award.
What we get out of caring for people, and what the people, and the weirdness sometimes of the borders being crossed emotionally, physically, when, you are, you kind of have to keep that in mind. If you are doing things for another person, and you're, at any moment, any of the people can say, I'm walking out, I'm leaving you in the bathtub. I don't want this any, or I can be cruel to you if I wanted to right now, because you're not in any position to, and not even going there, which is kind of nice. The play doesn't go there. At the same time, I just kind of felt after a while, it's about an hour and 15 minutes without intermission, that some of it just seems a little fakey. Some of it, some of the scenes were like...
she worked as a caregiver for people with disabilities, and so did her mom when she came from Poland.
And it's also something that threw me a little bit, because I know we're in the era when anybody can play anything, but they have a seemingly, she's very, very good, a young black actress. And so she's on stage and she's playing the caregiver, and we get it, she's working the bars, and then suddenly she's on the phone talking Polish. Or what sounded like Polish.
That's because the playwright is Polish.
I get it, but I'm saying, because you have, and I'm all for non-traditional casting, I'm going to see a ton of it this afternoon in 1776, where all these women are playing John Adams and Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson and so forth. But still, within the context of this play... David,
she has a play called Queens, where a group of immigrant women from different countries have an illegal apartment in Queens.
Well, that sounds good too. She is a very, very good writer. I just didn't feel that this held me enough. Maybe I did want a little bit of melodrama. Maybe I wanted to cry at the end. Leslie mentioned there is a very effective, wonderful moment in the middle of the play when the husband is taking care of his estranged wife, and she is not physically able to feel on some level sexual stuff or do anything about it, because she's, nothing all the way down below the waist. So he figures out another way to connect to her that, it's going to be really creepy, but it turns out to be a very touching and lovely moment. I think everybody's favorite moment of the play. I can't necessarily, and I think I'm also kind of angry at the play, because had it been 10 minutes shorter, I would have made another drink. I would have been home by 11 o'clock instead of 12:30. So I'm a little ticked at that, which isn't fair to the play. So under ordinary circumstances, I give it 3 stars, maybe 2 3/4 last night. It's very well acted, and Jo Bonnier directs. She makes a couple of missteps in being too broad with certain. There's a moment when we get a sense that suddenly the character who is the black/Polish woman who is the caretaker for the CP guy, suddenly we get the feeling, wait, is she really mentally ill? Because she goes on this rambling monologue tear at a moment. Where did that come from? And where does that go? She's now living, she's semi-homeless, living in a car. Did she lose her mind a little, or is she normal? She's just nervous? So there are moments that feel a little too broad that pull us away from what's going on. I cannot say run and go see this Pulitzer Prize winning play. A generous 3 stars for cost of living. You'll certainly not be bored with it, and it certainly holds you. I just kind of wish I either felt more about it or that I didn't feel structurally manipulated, if you will, if not emotionally manipulated by cost of living. I guess, this is the kind of thing where I come into New York so infrequently now that if I go in to see and it's not fair to the playwright, if I saw this as part of, back in the day, when I see 3 or 5 plays a week, some on Broadway, some off, and if I saw this at off-Broadway Manhattan Theater Club in a week like that, I was, oh, this is one of the better ones. But because I made it like, this is one of the 2 shows I'm seeing while I'm in town, on Broadway, Pulitzer Prize, I'm going, okay, it's all right. Cost of living, worth $30-40 if you wanted to go see it. I don't know about Broadway prices, but there it is. And here's a little bit of, do I have an image of it? These are the actors kind of sort of in character, but sort of headshotty in the show inside Broadway. Well, we're going to go outside Broadway now to finish off the show with oh, Lord help us. We do have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned to get to. But before then, let's do some thank yous and some friends of the neighborhood. So friends of the neighborhood are people who have been on the program, whether it was today, like our wonderful friends Ronald Rand, who's got a book called Solo Transformations on Stage that you can get wherever books are sold, as well as looking out for his one-man show that he does all over the country, all over the world, about Harold Clurman. Ronald Rand, always such a delight to be in the neighborhood with us. And then Vicky Quaddy, who, even though she may not be in her shows, she does have shows in Chicago at the Greenhouse Theater. There's Late Night Catechism, and of course, for this month, Holy Ghost Bingo. Go see them. And Leslie Hoban Blake, who co-hosts 2 On the Aisle, all about theater reviews, just like I'm doing now. She does them with Charlie Gross, but also they have guest critics like me or David Sheward, who I hope will come back to the neighborhood once, sometime in December, January. We expect to see him back. These are friends of the neighborhood just for today. But also, we check in on people who've been on this program in months and years past. Like we said, we're very, very grateful to, I forget who posted, but someone found our interview with Peter Tork, the late Peter Tork of the Monkees, and posted it in their monkey forum, and so, this is a really good interview, thank you. So yeah, all these tons of interviews in the archives at archive.org and davesgoneby.com. But some people, folks who are still alive and still making songs, doing theater, writing books, being in movies and TV shows, we're letting you know, hey, this is where you can see this person now. For example, playing now for several weeks, there's a new play called Everything's Fine, and it's written by our friend Douglas McGrath, directed, by the way, by John Lithgow. So go see Off-Broadway Everything's Fine by our friend Douglas McGrath. Penny Arcade is playing tonight at Joe's Pub over on Lafayette Street. And Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, don't forget, they do Saturday nights at Birdland at 5:30 p.m. You could go, if I wanted to, I'm exhausted, but if I come out of 1776 and I want to hear more music, I could just stay right in Midtown, 5:30, go see Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano at Birdland. Go to birdlandjazz.com for tickets. On Monday, Julie Holston is doing her latest cabaret show called Declassified. That, too, is at Birdland. And also on Monday, Jeff Harner, congratulations. He will be in Chicago. He is the national honoree of the Chicago Cabaret Professionals, and they're going to have a little celebration at the Epiphany Center for the Arts in Chicago, Illinois. Starting on Tuesday and running through the very end of December, Lonnie Price is staging a play featuring and written by Gabriel Byrne. It's called Walking with Ghosts, not goats, Ghosts, ST, in time for Halloween, Walking with Ghosts on Broadway at the Music Box Theater on West 45th Street. So yay, Lonnie Price, back on Broadway directing. And then speaking of directors and speaking of, oh honey,
What?
we have an alert.
Austin.
Guess who it's for? It's an Austin Pendleton alert! Austin Pendleton! Austin Pendleton always doing something on, off Broadway cabaret. From October 20th through November 6th, he is directing a new play by Sarah Treem called The How and the Why, and it is being done, after 3 hours, my mouth, at the Sheen Center on Bleecker Street. The How and the Why by Sarah Treem, directed by our pal Austin Pendleton. David Broza, the musician, he has a new EP out called David Broza Sings Leonard Cohen, and October 21st is the release date for his version of the great Famous Blue Raincoat. So check out David Broza and his music. Marilyn May she's like 92 at this point, and she is at 54 below from now through October 22nd. And then you have just a couple more weeks to catch both Hal Linden and Bernie Capel I think just this weekend, to see them in Two Jews Talking. The show is being extended because, there's still an old guard of old Jewish people who go for a nice matinee of Jewish people talking. But Hal Linden is leaving the show after this weekend. I think Bernie Capel is staying, and Linden is being replaced by Josh Mostel. Would love to get him on the show, what stories he would tell. But Hal Linden and Bernie Capel, at least still this weekend, both of them in Two Jews Talking off-Broadway. Tanya Pinkins is off-Broadway in a revival of A Raisin in the Sun. That is at the Public Theater now through the first week of November. And then also playing off-Broadway at the Wild Project on East 3rd Street. It's a new musical by and featuring Jill Sabule. It's called Fuck 7th Grade. I wonder what that's about. Go see it at the Wild Project now through early November. And Linda Lavin, she's in a play again. It's called You Will Get Sick. It's a roundabout production at the Laura Pels Theater on West 46th Street. Don't forget, Tova Feldshuh got amazing reviews. She is in Funny Girl now. Everybody's seeing it for Leah Michelle. And then they're realizing, oh my God, Tova's in it too. She's amazing. It's at the August Wilson Theater. Lilias White is playing Hermes or Hermitage, whatever, in Hades Town at the Walter Kerr Theater. And don't forget, Alan Menken has 2 shows where he wrote the music. Aladdin on Broadway, Little Shop of Horrors off Broadway. Dr. Demento doing new Dr. Demento shows every week at drdemento.com. Bob Cudmore telling stories of upstate New York history at bobcudmore.com. And don't forget to check out StageBuddy.com for news about New York nightlife. And that website was founded by and is run by my friend Evan Seplow. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Neighborhood. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the Neighborhood, this has been the Neighborhood that you have been watching. Dave's Gone By, every Saturday from 9 until noonish or thereabouts. If you want to contact me, Dave's Gone By at AOL.com, or check my Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. Plus, also, I urge you, if you want to read my theater reviews from the past 30 years, if you want to read my plays, my couple don't really have a lot of screenplays, but if you want to read my song lyrics or all the other stuff that I've been writing, go to davelefkowitz.org. davelefkowitz.org. It's all free. There's no paywall. There's no anything. I just want people to read my work. I would love for theater companies to read my plays and do them that way, or anthologize them with my permission. Just get my stuff out there. I've reached the age where, I'm not going to get a Broadway show. I'm not going to get this, and nothing's going to happen. But, if somebody logs on to davelefkowitz.org and gets a chuckle out of one of my songs, or if they enjoy one of my plays, hey, that was pretty damn good, or a short story or something, and I hear from them, that would be fantastic. Also there, if you dare, you can read every one of my Colorado limericks of the damned. Because for years now, I've been writing a poem after poem after poem after poem based on different places in the state of Colorado. I've got more than 200. You wouldn't think of that many cities and towns in Colorado, but there are. And I'm still trying to do them. I'm still trying to keep them coming. Would love to get to the point where I've got 365 of them, but that's just not going to work. I think I'll hit 250. I'm hoping. I hope I can jinx it by saying that. But every week I share a limerick with you. They're disgusting, they're rude, because limericks are supposed to be kind of amusing and raunchy-ish. And mine are they're disgusting. And when you go on davelefkowitz.org and you read one after another, you realize what a sick son of a bitch I really am. Because one or two, oh, that's cute, oh, that's dirty, oh, that's naughty, oh, that's a little sick. But taken as a group, you read 10 or 20 of them at a time, you go like, how has this man not been institutionalized? You really do. Go read them. davelefkowitz.org. But I do have just one for you, a new one. This Saturday on Dave's Gone By, we're going to Virginia Dale for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain.
Oh, yes, Colorado we go to Virginia Dare, Colorado. Who even knew this existed? And the amazing thing is these aren't like an outlying little whatevers. This is a small town called Virginia Dare, at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. It's only 45 minutes northwest of Fort Collins. It's 4 miles south of Wyoming. So it's not so completely out of the way. It started in the 1860s as a stagecoach station, where passengers could actually get off the stagecoaches, spend a little time, have a hotel for overnight before they get back on for more of the journey. There was also a creek in the town, which another name for a creek is a dale. Mm-hmm. And the Virginia Dale Station, this is from Wikipedia, was established by a guy named Jack Slade, a former stagecoach station manager in Julesburg, Colorado, while Slade's wife was named Virginia.
Oh.
Behold, Virginia Dale. Now, this guy, man, this Jack Slade. He got into a dispute with a fellow named Jules Benny. Benny had previously shot Slade 5 times, but Slade survived and exacted his revenge by ambushing Benny, I keep thinking of Jack Benny, but no, it's Jack Slade and Jules Benny. He ambushed Benny, tied him to a fence post, and shot off his fingers.
Oh my God.
And then for the coup de grace, he shot Benny in the head.
Oh, nice. This is horrible.
Slade kept Benny's ears as trophies.
Oh, no.
And then they made him station master of Julesburg.
Wow. I guess the people were afraid of him.
Oh, not so much. In fact, Slade met and breakfasted with a fellow named Samuel Clemens, whom we better know as... Yeah, Mark Twain.
Thank you.
Mark Twain wrote about their meeting in his book, Roughing It. Eventually, stagecoaches went out of favor. The Union Pacific Railroad came in, and the town thrived for a while, although in the 1990s, the cafe and post office in Virginia Dale did close. But we're opening up our Colorado Limerick of the Damned this Saturday morning to a new poem about Virginia Dale. Ahem. In old Virginia Dale, there lives a man so frail, his teeth and his gums are the color of plums, and his dick curls in like a snail. Thank you very much. Yeah, to complain, remember you can email me, davesgoneby@aol.com, or just post your messages right here. Either direct message me or post it under the show right on this Facebook page. So... yeah, our Colorado Limerick you waited almost 3 hours for that. Anyway, what fun. Oh my God, I was going to do a short show this week too. I was going to do like, maybe 2 hours. And what do you know? Here we are. It's 11:54 in the morning Eastern Time. And you've been watching the 868th episode of Dave's Gone By. With me, Dave Lefkowitz, my amazing wife, Joyce. So yeah, want to wish you all, certainly I think tonight is going to be Simchas Torah, or maybe last time was something, we're in Simchas Torah right now. So happy times for Jewish people, yay. As a matter of fact, I got the Jewish paper. Oh, Rabbi Sal will have it, but can you reach for it right there and toss it to me? So I saw this, and you rarely see this, because everything's going to be about the Holocaust and problems. But I saw this, Zman Simchatenu. And it's like, wow, for once, something happy. Simcha. Yes. A happy time for Jewish people, ladies and gentlemen. Zman Simchatenu, the end of the High Holy Days, and one of the best of all, rejoicing in the reading of this Torah, and then starting it all over again. If you want to hear some funny stuff about that, go to Rabbi Sal Solomon's website, shalomdammit.com, and watch his stage show that they filmed called Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Sal Solomon, and even talks about Shmini Atzeret and Simchas Torah in an amusing fashion. So, hon, is there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to share? Or do, oh, here we go. Kathy Hochul or which?
Don't let your child become this adult.
Okay, I can show that. Yes, I mean, Rabbi Sal will probably go through this himself at some point, but yeah, here we go. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be rabid alcoholics. Oh, ladies, I'm getting punch drunk, and I'm first starting my day. I gotta go into New York now. So I'm not sure, once again, if I will be here next Saturday, or if I might take a week or two, or maybe even 3 off to just collect my thoughts and get my real day job done, or my Dave job done. So I'm hoping maybe I'll be here next week. I kind of doubt it. But follow the show. Find us on YouTube. Check out davesgoneby.com, because not only are all the archives there, but we'll also keep you posted when there's a new show and stuff like that. Get on my Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. Go to archive.org also for all of our old shows. We're all over the place. If you miss us next week,
tell the people who have that monkeys group that you're going to send. You'll post the new link to the new show. I sent it to you. I tried to DM you.
Oh, I thought you put it on.
I sent it to you. I can't on my phone, so I sent it to your one of your. Check your Facebook accounts, because I sent you a direct message.
Oh, direct message, and I can repost it as part of it. Yeah.
You could. I think it's the old one. It looks like, from the picture, it looks like it's the old one, but I don't know how to.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah. And as I said, if you want to watch or listen to the 2 interviews we did with Peter Tork, they're on there. We've done interviews with Dave Davis of the Kinks. We've had a member of the band Dawes on the show. October Project was on the show. A lot of solo artists and musicians as well. We had 2 of the guys from Buck Cherry on the, or 1 or 2 of the guys from Buck Cherry on the program. So yeah, we've done, and it's all there for you to enjoy and listen to for free in the davesgoneby.com archives. So it's almost noon. I've got to go. And it's been a delight spending 3 hours with you, as always, on the 868th episode of Dave's Gone By. Check out the website. We will see you, if not next week, maybe next week, but if not, very soon, with the 869th episode of the show. Until then, don't miss your Dave's Going By. Love you, Joyce. Love to Mom for putting us up for a couple of days. Love to Joyce's in-laws that she'll see later. And gone. Bye.
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by, days gone by.
I gotta say, this is sort of Axolotl-esque. Yeah, maybe not.